December 2018, CROSSFIRE Stars begins a new fight. CFS 2018 will gather 24 top teams from 11 regions around the world in Taitung and Nanjing, China for Project S. December 4th to 6th, the group stage matches, the tournament stage quarterfinals, and semifinals will take place in Taitung. December the 8th, event matches for CROSSFIRE HD featuring top teams will be awaiting in Nanjing. December the 9th, the CROSSFIRE Legends tournament along with the CROSSFIRE final matches will determine the CFS 2018 World Champions. Guns are locked and loaded, and players are ready for an intense clash. CROSSFIRE Stars 2018, together in Taitung and Nanjing, China. Together, roaring with enthusiasm inside the arena of battle. Together, making history to become the true legend of CROSSFIRE.
Hello, my name is Faith. I'm from the European team Hunter Sports.
Tôi đến từ Việt Nam và in-game của tôi là Ali.
Hi, меня зовут Алексей.
Và vị trí tôi chơi trong team boss đó là tôi là leader và số năm tôi chơi là đã được 10 năm.
I'm the leader and the sniper of the team and I've been playing this game for 9 years.
Мой старший брат показал мне эту игру. Так я начал играть. Все.
I think it was my brother who introduced me to the game. He showed me the game and ever since I loved playing it.
Lần đầu tiên tôi tiếp xúc đó là ngày đầu tiên ra mắt game ở tại Việt Nam và cũng không giấu gì các bạn, Ali là một người rất là mê thể loại FPS.
I think it was in 2013 when I first heard of CFS, but the first 2 seasons I didn't qualify for it, and then in 2014 we finally managed to qualify for it, and this is where I first attended my first CFS.
Я играю в CROSSFIRE уже 8 лет, и из них играю 5 лет профессионально. Я являюсь капитаном команды Valiant и также снайпером.
Con đường của Ali đến với chuyên nghiệp đó, Ali nghĩ đó là một cái duyên. Và cái duyên đó bắt đầu từ năm 2014 là cái chức mà Ali đạt được là Á quân thế giới CFS tổ chức ở tại Hàn Quốc. Rất cực kỳ là vinh dự, cực kỳ là hạnh phúc vì là
Чему я научился в CROSSFIRE, это тому, что как нужно играть в команде в первую очередь, как нужно взаимодействовать с тиммейтами и идти на компромиссы.
I think it changed me a lot, this game. It showed me how to win and how to lose and how to handle it. You lose. It showed me how to handle a team.
Thoạt đầu thì gần như là rất nhiều người không cho đó là một cái cách làm tốt vì họ còn quá nhiều ý kiến không tốt về game. Thì khoảng thời gian đó rất là khó khăn đối với Ali vì gần như là không có ai ủng hộ cả. Mãi sau này khi có những thành công, có những giải đấu và được mọi người công nhận đó là một môn thể thao điện tử thì như bây giờ thì Ali nghe đó là một kết quả xứng đáng.
I think the game itself improved a lot. I really love that CFS gets bigger every year. The tournament improved from year to year. The players and the teams got better. It's really nice to be here every time. I really love it.
Я желаю CROSSFIRE только становиться лучше и лучше, и желаю процветания этой игре.
Điều mà Ali muốn nghĩ nhiều nhất và muốn nói nhiều nhất đó là mong muốn Semifinals cũng như là Tencent sẽ tiếp tục xây dựng con game này càng phát triển để cho những game thủ chuyên nghiệp họ sẽ coi như đây là một công việc thật sự.
Hello and welcome back. It is semi-final time here at CFS 2018. Gentlemen, we've got 4 teams locked in, 4 teams guaranteed a spot in the arena on Sunday in Nanjing. But the question is, will they be playing in the grand final or will they be playing in the consolation match? Kyle, it's been a big day so far. 4 huge quarterfinals. Any big surprises for you?
Honestly, for me, the biggest surprise was actually INTZ taking down Carbon. I mean, they've just been steamrolling the competition here, and I think almost everyone underestimated them, and they still haven't stopped yet.
Brazil in general has been really a force to be reckoned with at this event. As we look at the way Black Dragons got started off at this event, getting knocked down to the lower bracket very early on. They rebounded incredibly well, of course, and now have made it to this match here. Yeah,
that's a pretty big deal, isn't it? The fact that there's a potential right now to see no Chinese teams in the grand final, and then on top of that, a potential for a Brazil versus Brazil grand final. That would be such a big deal for that region.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think we had 3 #1 seeds fall in the quarterfinals. Not something you would have expected looking at all these teams' performances thus far, especially AG. They look like the front runner, and to be falling in that best of 1 just surprised me a bit. I think Rue Legends, they played a lot stronger than we've seen them yet.
Yeah, puts them in prime position for our second semi-final today, that is for sure. But right now, Black Dragons and Super Valiant Gaming. Black Dragons coming through. Kyle, you touted them as the team who beats the Chinese teams. And, well, this is their opportunity to do so. We're into best of 3s now, so it's going to take a little more effort. You can't just hope for a good start and go from there. They're going to have to work for it right now.
Yeah, they definitely are. And looking at some of their past, I mean, SV is the team that took them out twice to take them out of their group last year alone. So it's definitely a chance for revenge here for Black Dragons.
What about for you, Blue? What are your thoughts?
This is really going to be the chance for Black Dragons to prove themselves now. As we saw before, getting knocked into the lower bracket early on by a Chinese team. Now they've got a chance to take the previous world champions down in a best-of-3 format. And if they're going to be able to do that, obviously, it'll be quite the surprise and can set up for a very interesting grand final as well.
Yeah, it would definitely cause a bit of a ruckus, some might suggest. Firstly, losing the final remaining Chinese team, the final hope for China here at CFS 2018. But for me, oh man, I know I've been on the side of the Chinese teams here, but it's if you go through the history, it's so hard to put them inside and say, hey, they're not going to make it. But 2 now have fallen. Surely our champions can't go down here, Kyle.
I actually think they are going to win this match. I mean, Black Dragons, they've played really well up until this point. But when I look at SV, the individual performances we saw in their last game were just so much more than what we saw in the opening days. And I think that's going to be enough to really put them in a good position here.
Yeah, that's the critical part, right, Blue?
Yeah, for everything, when we look at Super Valiant Gaming, I think everything really falls to N9, right? Because he's been having an amazing game when you look at all the performances. Past like day 1 where it was a little bit of a slow start, but as we look to all the matches starting from day 2 and now on this day specifically, even that winners match, for instance, he got like 26 kills there. I think he nearly dropped the 30 bomb on the last map as well. So he's really the front runner, and if he can bring anything close to a performance like that, he might just be able to single-handedly carry his team through to victory here.
Well, that's it. Super Valiant, the last remaining first seed in the competition, which is quite remarkable in and of itself. And look, they'll definitely be gunning for that three-peat, 2016, 2017, and 2018 as the CFS CROSSFIRE champions. But, well, there's a lot of pressure, and to be fair, as we said, Black Dragons are playing so well. If ever there was a shot for them, this is it, right? You can't get any closer than this, short of actually making your way through to the grand final. And if Black Dragons were to take down Super Valiant Gaming here, knowing that they're either going up against INTZ or Rue Legends, that would be an incredible grand final for them as well, knowing that they don't have to verse a team from China for the $500,000.
Yeah, and I think Black Dragons actually has an easier time if they are able to make it through to that grand final because both teams, I think they feel more comfortable beating on that other half of the bracket.
So if ever there was a time for Black Dragons, it is now. Unfortunately, it's going to be a very tough best of 3 for them. We're going to veto out 1 map apiece. The last 3 remaining maps are going to be played with the order being determined randomly. But that's the fairest way to do it for sure. It's going to be tough, though. I don't know. What do you think the Black Dragons need to do here to take down a team like Super Valiant? We talk about how sometimes they have a slow start, Blue, but they've surely warmed up by now.
I mean, yeah, for me, it's going to go right back to trying to find a way to consistently shut down N9. We were seeing in the match, especially on the one that they played on sub-base earlier, where he was just going into every round picking up triple kills, and I think he ended up with something like a double kill on average per round. So they need to find a way to try and restrict him, knock him out of the rounds really, and prevent him from just completely shutting down aggressive pushes or obviously any of the defensive holds on the site, especially if we end up on anything similar to sub-base in terms of the map pool.
Yeah, you probably aren't going to win if there's a player on the opposing team picking up double kills each and every round. But this one, it's our first best of 3 that we'll see here at CFS 2018. And it's probably one of the most important matches for both of these teams that they will see. Black Dragons so very close to locking themselves a spot in the grand final, but when you've got the world champions, the repeat team, back-to-back, looking to make it 3 from 3, it's going to be very, very tough. The experience, when it comes to experience, who's got the upper hand here? Is it the team from China?
I definitely think so. They just consistently perform better under pressure, and they have that ability to push through where Black Dragons have struggled with their consistency in the past. So I think SV is definitely going to be the favorite going into this one, but they definitely should also not expect a walk in the park here.
Where have we seen Black Dragons in the past? What is their highest achievements? Where do they usually come in a competition of this standard?
So they've had some issues making it through into top 4 situations. Their last really big showing was in the Vietnam Invitational, where they were able to actually win that event as one of the first teams to conquer an international event there. However, SV, they look much more dominant here in Black Dragons. We've seen some inconsistency within the event so far, so I think they definitely need to play on a whole new level going into this match if they really want to take down SV.
Well, that's, I guess, a pretty good point. We know they did lose to All Gamers in their first match, 10-5, and that wasn't a great result for them. Obviously, they managed to fight it back, and in the end, they took down a different Chinese team, Q9. But now they've got to go and make it almost 3 from 3 here. So that's tough.
Yeah, and looking at the potential map pool here, too, I think SV's done a really good job of almost getting teams to pick sub-base for them because they've been seen as a weak team in past years on that map. I think they really perfected that map for themselves going into this event, and they've actually performed quite well on it. And as we saw earlier against Flipside, they look very confident in the changes they've made on this map. Before, when Emzin was on this lineup, sub-base was a huge struggle for them, so I think a lot of teams went in wanting that map against SV, but a lot of teams got that, and they haven't lost on it yet.
Right, that's a pretty big point then. What do you think we're going to see then out of the vetoes? What is your expectation in terms of the 2 maps that will be removed, one for Super Valiant and one for Black Dragons?
If I had to guess right now, I'd say Black Widow gets pulled out by Black Dragons as their ban. Most teams don't want to face a Chinese roster on the map of Black Widow. It's just such a strong Chinese map that most teams just want to straight up avoid it. And on the other token, I'd say I would expect SV to be banning Ankara. It's just generally a map that I know the Chinese teams, if they get a pick out, they just don't like to play it too often. So I would expect those, but we'll see exactly what it is as we go into it here.
Yeah, the ban and pick coming up on the screen right now. So the ban coming out for Black Widow, for Black Dragon. So nice pick, Kyle. You're spot on. Who would have thought? That's why you're our expert. Let's see what the next ban coming through is. It's going to be Port. Interesting.
I think they went for the first time instead of a comfortability one. They actually went against what they thought Black Dragons would be good on. So I still respect that because Black Dragons is one of the better Port teams out there right now.
So it's going to be sub-base as the first map to be played, followed by Ankara, which means, sounds like Mexico is going to be the third map, should we get that far. And as we now know this, sub-base, Ankara, Mexico. What are your thoughts, Kyle? Who's going to win this? What map score is it going to go to?
If I had to pick right now, I'd say probably 2-1 in favor of SV. I think sub-base is a map that SV has a lot of experience on in this event, and they've shown us that they can do a lot of great things on that map, individually and as a team. I think Ankara is one where I would expect it to probably swing for Black Dragons, but Mexico is somewhat of a coin toss. Getting that global risk side to start is huge for the momentum of both of these teams, but under the pressure, I think it's just going to be SV 2-1 here.
All right, 2-1 is your guess, Blue. Before we jump into it, what's your pick?
I'm going to go with a 2-0 for Super Valiant. I think that they're going to be able to crush this. They obviously had a little bit of a rough start to this tournament, but they've really been able to pick up steam, and I think that they're going to pull through in the end.
Look, I want to be the one that says Black Dragons is going to win. It's up to them to prove us wrong, because I can't go past Super Valiant Gaming either. This is our first semi-final, a huge best of 3. If you win this match, not only do you guarantee yourself in the grand final, but you guarantee yourself 200,000 USD at a minimum. Let's get into the action.
All right, well, we're already live with the first round, ladies and gentlemen. Black Dragon's going to be on the attack for Blacklist. It is Super Valiant Gaming that will start on defense for the global risk, and we are on sub-base to start things off. moved into best of threes now, so the pressure will increase for both of these teams, and they'll have to work a whole lot harder to keep their composure centered, as it's a much, much longer matchup. Let's not waste any time, though, as the Black Dragons got themselves an initial push inside of the CP room on their attacking side. They do pull that away, though, as they're running back over through their spawn to readjust positions. The C4 is still trapped in the middle, so no decision being made yet, though, for the Black Dragons in terms of where they want to take this execute.
And as we can see, WQ once again playing the A-bomb site anchor here for the side of SV. He's done it so well throughout the event so far. I definitely expect them to leave him sort of alone to his own devices on this one, unless he starts to struggle. Will, though, already trying to make a presence here over towards that B-bomb side entrance, but right now, Black Dragons, they're going to go for the fake here, sending 3 players up into lobby, but Will, he sells the fake as well. They have a perfect pinch, but 18 shuts it down. Huge triple kill. Will, the only one alive now, left in a 1v3, does manage to find 18. Elegant and WQ, though, 2 deadly players to go up against in this 2v1. Will, though, already 2 frags on the round. The bomb, though, not in his control just yet. Has to sneak out back into mid to grab it. Unfortunately, he is spotted, but Elegant going to go down in that situation as well. WQ, the last hope for SV on the round. Can he do it, or will? He's not going to make it happen. WQ, though, very nicely done. The anchor for this team comes through, and it's going to be SV with the first round.
A near clutch coming out from the Brazilian Will at the end of the day, though, but it's not going to be enough to be able to close out the round. Super Valiant get themselves started with an opening round in their favor, and they will push ahead 1-0 in the best of 3. Taking a look now. The split we are going to see. It's a heavy flavor for the guys on Black Dragons to move inside of the CP room to start off. They'll take control here. Obviously won't be trying to much to push beyond that inside of lockers just yet, though. Smokes from Super Valiant Gaming are continuing to hold back the pressure, along with, of course, the initial presence here from Anke in the event that Black Dragons try to push directly to the doorway.
Black Dragons, though, just feeling out the map right now, trying to find that opening pick. They do seem a bit hesitant here. Elegant, though, just patiently holding on to this event's position, waiting to see if someone will mistakenly peek across. Right now, though, Black Dragons do have 3 outside of A. Meanwhile, SV putting a lot of resource still over towards this B bomb site. 4 players in position to try and hold this attack off. Will trying to sneak his way into lockers once again. This time, Anke, though, in a great position to counter it. He just walks right past him, though, finds a 9. That's going to be a huge amount of frustration. He gets a second player before going down. Anke, losing control of the situation, goes down into a fight there and grabs another, but still, it could be too late here. Black Dragons getting control of the B-bomb site. WQ forced to rotate, finds one, looks for the second here. Danimal, though, the last hope for Black Dragons on the round, stuck in the corner, though, and Anke finds the third. Definitely recovering there for his mistaken play at the beginning of the round.
This is becoming a common theme now, at least the way these first 2 rounds have played out, where the Brazilians are getting so close to being able to battle back. They seem to be having good trades at minimum, but ultimately fall at the end of the day, either close situations or Super Valiant just coming in with a good position to crush them in the late round. So they'll hold a 2-0 lead, and it's going to be a similar start for the Black Dragons. 3 players inside a CP room. They are trying to challenge Anke back behind the box and lockers, but obviously he's not going to be under too much pressure with a lot of coverage to work with. Black Dragons will just have to hold and run down the timer a little bit here, with their other 2 players lurking closer towards that wood lobby heading into A. However, it already looks like we've got the 4th player moving back to group up with the CP room push, as they're probably going to be pressuring this site once again.
And the crazy thing here is Black Dragons are putting so much focus on the B-bomb site, but SV, they have 4 players here every single round so far. Vienna does manage to get the first player taken out of the picture, though. Anke goes down, and it's a 5-on-4. This time around, though, go ahead.
I'd say the spam through the big box. Good enough to be able to eliminate Anke, and now Super Valiant down lower. But they did, of course, you can see, rotate N9 into a close corner position to watch out in the event Black Dragons try to go for a push. Black Dragons have since rotated away. N9 gets his push out regardless, though, and finds a pickup onto Vienna. But as you can see, Black Dragons have swung back in through the L corner. They're going to make their way into the B site, and it works out brilliantly. Danimal and Knutson both find entries, and it's down to Elegant and Dalbao Q to bring it back for Super Valiant.
Elegant, though, looking for the entry here for the retake positions to potentially be exposed. WQ working his way on the full flank as well. SV looking for the opportunity to strike. Right now, though, SV, they don't have a clear opening just yet. Will going to be playing alone on the back of site. Finds Elegant, and it's going to be on to WQ here. 1v4 situation. Not likely to happen, though. Knutson takes him down, and Black Dragons do find their first round here.
It's a great mid-round adjustment from the Black Dragons. They know that the pressure heading into CP room was just building up to too much for them to finally get past lockers and then eventually onto the site. So they did a quick maneuver. They quickly rotate back over, round through the L hallway, and are able to make their way into the site. Really surprising Super Valiant Gaming. Problem is, you can only rely on something like that once or twice. Super Valiant are going to be watching that much more closely now, and you can already see that with Elegant holding a more middle-focused position instead of having Anke, who we've had before, stuck behind the big box just inside of the locker room.
Once again, Black Dragons playing the slow pace here, trying to catch these players of SV off guard. But right now, it is going to be Black Dragons playing for the potential hit towards B once again. They haven't gone for a full A execution at all in this map so far. I think they definitely have some fear in potentially challenging WQ here on the bottom of the A bomb site. Here we have it though. It is going to be SV getting a little bit antsy here, trying to find some information, but BD still playing close towards their spawn here, not really pushing out just yet.
It's going to be Black Dragons continuing to slow play this as time inches lower and lower. They don't seem to have a clear route as we've seen established in the previous 3 rounds. It's taken them some time to figure out how exactly they want to play this one out. So for Super Valiant, there's not going to be a whole lot of panic for them either. They'll stay consistent in a spread hold across the entire inside of the complex here. But once again, it is looking like Black Dragons are going to favor the L corner turn to get themselves into the B site. They'll work their way in. There's a good initial hold coming in from 18, but he's traded out. Anke still has presence inside of the site. He's going to get leaped on, though, by Will, and Viana finds a follow-up. It's down to only 2 now for Super Valiant Gaming. Elegant and Dalbao Q going to have to try and bring this back, but Will takes the top position to find another kill, knocks out Elegant, leaving it all on Dalbao Q, who still has to worry about a player that's trying to pincer him in as Viana works further towards that A site. Dalbao Q will still make the push towards B. Finds the first pickup. He spotted the rotate coming in from Viana, but it won't matter. He takes him out. And it's Black Dragons to tie us now at 2-2.
Now you can start to feel that energy and momentum mounting behind the Black Dragons roster, starting to get loud here. SV, though, can't go quiet just yet. They've got to try and keep their composure here, make sure things don't get too far against them. But right now, Will leading the charge here for the Black Dragons. 2 triple kill rounds so far, 8-2. And we're just 4 rounds into it here. SV, though, once again playing passive with only 1 player. WQ over towards this A bomb site. Elegant, though, wants the challenge here, and he'll find it. Viana takes him out, and it's already a 5-on-4.
Nice moves from Viana. The aggressive push over towards the inner double doors. Finds them an opening pick, bringing Black Dragons into a much stronger position. The push, the moment anyway, doesn't seem to be indicating it's going to lead towards here, but with the bomb sitting way back towards the spawn for BD, could really go anywhere at this point. Black Dragons are going to pull themselves away from the wood lobby, though, and start to work their way over towards B again, which certainly has been a favorite play up until this point.
WQ, though, the question is, will he start to get antsy here? The more rounds they do not go over towards this A staircase, he could easily push out here for information, but Viana still going to be waiting for him over by the double doors. Meanwhile, Danimo looking to lead a charge here into B. And 9, though, already finds Viana. A nice way to start off this hold. Here we have it, though. Black Dragons trying to find the opening, but they can't. They have to back off here, and they're looking to reset and potentially go A now.
Quick reversal, and thankfully Black Dragons still have a good amount of time to make it work as well. The loss of Viana, it sent them back into the wood lobby for a second time in this round. ADRF will lead the charge over to the big steps, leading down into the A site itself. Dalbao Q waiting in the corner, but no, he's going to get destroyed by Will on entry. Takes him down, rest of the team will move forward. Nade's going to be deployed, but they're not going to be good enough to hold. It's N9 showing up with 2 quick kills from him. Anke finds a third. N9 will fall quickly after that to Knotson, though, bringing it down into a 1-versus-1. Knotson's got the spot. He's been able to locate Anke. The problem is Knotson needs clearance to be able to get this plan onto the ground. Doesn't necessarily have that just yet. Finds a spot on Anke, knows he's gone towards top site, but still, the nade connects onto Knotson in the process, brings him down low to about 50 HP, and he's going to rotate over to the steps. Meanwhile, though, Anke's done the same. Knotson sees to be aware of it, and he'll get the closeout for Black Dragons as they push ahead 3-2.
Big round there for Black Dragons, but once again, it is Will finding these openings that has been so key for Black Dragons' success so far. SV, they need an answer. Elegant, not picking up the picks early on, has been such a detriment to their success right now. N9, though, still playing the anchor role as he has been, but still, they need Elegant to step up with these early round presence if they really want to make it happen here. Black Dragons, though, will be leading now 3-2, 3 in a row for them as well. ADRF, though, still yet to find a frag in this fight, but the rest of his team stepping up nicely in these opening rounds. Meanwhile, SV, again, the same setup comes out. WQ alone, this time a bit more reserved here over towards the A bomb site, playing back behind the missile.
Black Dragons still trying to figure out the exact plan, though. They've fallen away from wood lobby once again. However, quite a few players will start shifting back towards it. 1.5 remaining on the clock here. Here they're going to try to be quiet about their approach. It's a good nade, though. Connects about 20 or 30 damage on both Will and Viana. But Viana's going to try to lurk through the smoke. Tries to go for a pre-fire, but he's way off. and will get immediately knocked out by 18. No sign of a trade either. Will tries to find one from the doors, but SV are long gone. They're going to hold this advantage now at 5v4.
Still, the bomb is down back in spawn for Black Dragons. They have no sight to execute on either. SV holding this one across the board nicely, still not losing a single player. Will at half HP as well. Has to be careful how he goes for the attack on this one, but they need to find an opening quickly. Less than a minute left to make their move. And SV, they're already collapsing in on the remaining players. They know the A hit is coming, and they have stacked 4 players in preparation for it, only leaving Elegant to defend the B bomb site. SV, they have this read like a book.
SV have all their players stacked in the appropriate position now. The problem is they're going to have to put a few of them in between the sites. Still trying to figure out if they want to be able to commit themselves. We can hear the spam of B in the background. Regardless, we've got Black Dragons with low time committing themselves into the A site. They'll move forward. It's a 1-for-1 trade to start things off. Q sits in the back line trying to waste more time. And so far, he succeeded in that. Danimal, crucial mistake. The jump up from the big missile caused him to lose his life as 18 takes him out. And it brings Black Dragons down to only 2 players standing. Knotson, who in the meanwhile has been lurking through the mid-tunnels, is going to be able to move in, finding a trade onto Anke, but it's only a small gesture. They've lost ADRF. It's all on Knotson now, and he'll get overwhelmed. Super Valiant get their 3rd round on the board.
Great round there from 18, who's been stepping up in the past few here for SV. They tie it up now. 3 rounds left in the half. They've got to make a huge impact, though, still. Anyone's match for the taking here. This time, Black Dragons, though, again, putting that focus back over towards the B bomb site. They did have a lot of success here in the past couple rounds before losing over there towards A. So we'll see if they can make it happen here again.
ADRF struggling at this point. An 0-5 record for him. 6 rounds into the game and well into the 7th now. Unfortunately, haven't been seeing the impact it's been on the rest of the team, who got a pretty even record across the board. Will, of course, is outshining a little bit, kind of make it up for ADRF's lack of frags, but the rest of the team keeping it nice and even. It's a relatively similar story on the Super Valiant Gaming side, with Elegant really being the only player lagging behind as the sniper there. Everyone else still finding a good record so far in this matchup, as we do have Black Dragons at the gates of A. Ready to move in for another execute. Q holding the line, but he's only going to be able to find one. Will's there for an immediate trade. Both kills going to be headshots. N9 still waiting to see if we'll have a player like Danimal lurk himself out of the vents, but that will not be happening. Anke tries to catch Danimal, but it won't work out. Danimal gets the better of him anyway. 18 will now make a push in for the retake. Spots one player through the smoke. He's going to look for another one, and he'll get it. More kills going by the way of 18 as he single-handedly dominates the Black Dragons roster, pushing SVG back into the lead.
And this is the problem that Black Dragons are running into here. Black Dragons, they don't have 5 players consistently that can step up and make the big plays. SV, that's what they bring to the table here. Even though N9 hasn't been quite the shining star this game, 18, he is filling that void perfectly right now. 10-5 for his team. ADRF, though, finally picks up his first kill. It's going to be Anke going down 5-on-4. Things looking better for Black Dragons, but as we've seen, it's not too safe until it's all said and done here.
Absolutely the case. AD have also locked themselves into that similar opening round position that we've been seeing early on in the game, which is just to take the CP room and try to play the knockout N9 or whoever from Super Valiant game would be holding the big box, and obviously this would give them easy access towards the B site. It hasn't been the easiest job in the world for them, however. Super Valiant have been constantly just holding back and waiting for Black Dragons to make the first move, and as a result, Black Dragons have often found themselves having to adjust the strategy over towards A, and it's looking like we're going to see something similar again happen in this round.
It is going to be a full A execution coming out. One lurker here on the side of Black Dragons, but there's not really much of a hold here. Q just playing from upper A. Has to try and hold on to this one. Here comes the execution, though. Black Dragons, they're going to go in quietly here, hoping that nobody's actually directly holding this bomb site. And they've definitely guessed right here. Q not in a position to stall off the plant. This is a great read coming out from Black Dragons, and now it's all about the retake here for SV. But Black Dragons, they have all the time in the world to set up for it.
Vienna's finally going to strike first. Elsewhere, we do see Elegant picking up the trade for that, though, able to take Vienna out of the round. It's down to a 4 versus 3. The 1-for-1 still favors the Black Dragons, but a nice pick from Q on top site. Brings it back down. He'll continue his reign. A second frag now against ADRF. He's brought it down to just 2. It's Will and Danimal trying to hold for the attacking side. Fortunately, it's not going to be the easiest job in the world, but Will gets it done. A double kill from the triple stack boxes puts the Black Dragons back into the match as they find themselves another round.
And that's a round that really SV should have been able to hold on to here. Black Dragons have to thank Will for his performance in this half so far. He has been the difference maker here over for the side of Black Dragons. 12-5. Huge amount of momentum going his way after that round, and now they do have the potential left to win this half. Elegant, though, gets the opener. It's going to be Vienna going down.
With that opener, Black Dragons again will find themselves lacking in terms of options to execute. They've once again got the big 3-man stack instead of CP room to try and push towards Locker. Not much of a resistance here in terms of the Locker hold this time. It's just Anke once again, and he's not holding that usual position behind the big box. Smokes, another utility, are still presence for Super Valiant Gaming in that doorway, but it's not going to stop it. Danimal makes the push through anyway. He's now going to hold position inside of Locker's. Problem is he's trapped there. Doesn't have any teammates to support him just yet, so they are going to have to move the others through if this isn't their intended goal. Other problem as well, the bomb still down back in spawn. They've only just now sent ADRF to retrieve it.
Black Dragons rotating over towards A now. Dabaku again, the man here who has to step up and hold this one off for the side of SV. Black Dragons, though, will they be ready for his positioning here? Playing behind the pyramid stack. He has to show up big time. Only one and done, though. Will trades it out. But N9 from the top of A finds the trade as well. Notson goes down. Danimal, though, the drop down. N9 still holding things off here. Will, again, trying to be the savior here for Black Dragons. This time, he needs a 1v3 to make that happen. All remaining players for SV going to be at the top of A here, trying to look down in and potentially shut down the plant. SV, though, they know they can play this one a little bit slower here. 18 goes for the peak. They now have the information here to make their move.
Fortunately, clutch potential in this map so far has been incredibly low, so it's going to be difficult to see Will come out on top of this, but we've been wrong on that before. Will taking the initial fight. Promise he takes on 2 at once, now goes below half HP. Trying to fall back to the site. Time getting low for him as well. Just about 40 seconds remaining for him to try and make a play, or at least get the C4 onto the ground. He might just be forced to make a play for it in a second here. Lines is up for the kill against 18, but it won't work out. 18 will get the better of him, and SVG close out in the 3v1.
Still a very close half there. SV just doing barely enough to slide by with the victory in this half, but it's not over just yet for either team. It's going to be a difficult second half, and SV, we really need to see Elegant stepping up to the plate here. The rest of his team really had a lot of momentum in this half, but Elegant, for some reason today, he hasn't really been a strong presence on this map, so I'd like to see him really challenging these early round picks, as we've seen a lot of the confident snipers do on these matchups on subbase.
Thankfully, we've had 18 to fill in that void. So finding massive performances from him, and including, I believe, a 4K one round on retake for the guys on Super Valiant Gaming to take back the A site. Here are players shouting, as I believe they are going to be going live with the second half in just a moment. Now the sides will be switched. It's going to get the Super Valiant to try and close out here in what should be a map that they should be able to control, considering the result from the quarterfinal.
SV definitely making a lot of good adjustments here on this map. We'll see if they pay off, though. Black Dragons, a team also very talented on this map, and they haven't really been sniping either, which I think has been quite a success for them, not trying to challenge Elegant, but instead they leave him alone and they challenge him later on in the rounds. Right now, though, SV looking for the initial pick here. They're going to send 3 players over towards Wood, potentially to push up into lobby here and find that opening. ADRF, though, playing behind the smoke. Danimal in the top of A, waiting for the support as well. SV has to feel this one out, though, find that opening, because we do see Black Dragons playing fairly passive to start.
Elegant is going to continue to hold back, waiting to see if we're going to push from top site. It's not looking likely, however. Black Dragons, at the moment, playing a passive opener. That, unfortunately, is going to come back to bite them. 2 opening kills from N9, and now a 3rd as well, before Will finally is able to trade it back with a quick headshot from him. Puts us into a 3 versus 2, now a 3 versus 1 with Elegant. Finally picking up some slack there, gets himself a nice AWM pick, and it's down to only Vienna. In a 1 versus 3. Have to go for a solo retake on B site. Elegant's got him locked in the cage as well, but it won't matter. Vienna, a nice running pick, quickly knocks out Elegant, puts it down into a 1 versus 2. He's got his route into the site. We'll wrap around into the box corner here, see if he can work onto the site itself. But look, SV are playing so passive right now, not giving Vienna any real angle to work with. This does allow for Vienna to get up and now pick up one of the first kills. Another one is all he needs. He's going to get pushed on by 18, and he'll be able to take him out as well. A beautiful clutch from Vienna, and the Black Dragons will find the first round of the half.
Incredible 1v3 there coming out from Vienna. You can see they feel the momentum on their side now, but will it hold to be true? It's all tied up, but Black Dragons still have a lot to try and answer back with here. N9 especially still being quite the valuable force here on subbase once again for his team. 3 frags in that opening round. They need to be careful of him moving forward, but Vienna and Will, they do step it up here, and they make it happen for the Black Dragons to tie it up. SV, though, still a threat to say the least.
18's looking for contact now. Just around the L corner, but he won't find it. He'll fall back and away. The rest of Super Valiant. He's a little bit more aggressive in this round than we saw from the Black Dragons. They're much more keen to push into the building itself, the complex itself early on in the round, and try to make a play from there. whereas Black Dragons was a lot more reserved, tending to hold back on the outside portion of the map until they were pretty much ready to go for a straight-up execute. So Black Dragons, of course, will continue to play passively on their defending side here as well for Global Risk. They are continuing to run down the timer right now, though, due to the fact that Super Valiant do want to try and find 1 or 2 picks if at all possible, but I don't think they're going to find it on the outside portion. They will have to try and commit themselves to a site before they're going to be any contest against Black Dragons.
As we can see here, Black Dragons playing a very similar setup to what we saw out of SV as well, only having 1 player on the bottom of A. It's going to be Vienna, rightfully so. He's been quite the monster here in this half so far, winning that first round single-handedly for his team. But SV, they seem eager to attack over towards his positioning here. It's going to be 3 players ready to attack this A-bomb site. Vienna has to be ready to attack back, though. He's just playing behind the pyramid stack, just crouching there with that nade out, waiting to try and get the counter flash off with the perfect timing, but here it goes. SV, though, back's turned. They know exactly how to react here. Vienna has to step up and hold this one off all by himself. This time around, though, it's completely canceled. Vienna not able to find anything out of this one just yet. Nice counter flash comes through, but N9 still takes down Danimal. N9 takes down yet another. Notson finally finds one, make it a double kill. Still, he has to find all 5 players to answer back here, and it doesn't look too likely, and he's going to have to back off and reposition.
Notson will go over towards top site, but that's going to be read by N9. They immediately flash him out. He has a counter flash, though, that finds decent impact. Have they read that he's come down the steps? What? They're going to get the kill, so I would assume so. Elegant picks up the final frag this time for Super Valiant Gaming, as they immediately respond to the opening win from the Black Dragons and retake their lead now. Just barely, however, at 6-5.
SV going for the quick pressure play as well. A lot of early nades over towards the B control room. Black Dragons, though, looking for the counter aggression of their own. They're going to push right in. They find 2 frags to answer back. A lot of nade damage being dealt onto the Black Dragons. ADRF, the only one on full HP, will taken down by Elegant, and it's already down to a 3-on-3. Elegant very low, though, 23 HP here. Has to back off. His team, though, has an opening. A has no defenders, and this should be a great opportunity to get that bomb down.
They'll find themselves a very, very easy plan opportunity as Black Dragons are already trying to work towards their retake and being cautious of that, too. Just now pushing 2 of their players out of the CP room. That's Danimal and Notson working together. ADRF has decided to move on his own in an attempt to find a retake route. So he's going to be heading towards top site and eventually trying to work down from there. Time, though, it's not going to be on Black Dragon's side in any sense. They've been smoked out, but they're trying to use nades to get past the smoke wall and over past the big steps onto the actual site. But even there, they've got Anke holding down in the corner. N9 gets himself a free pick. Anke finds the second. It's down to ADRF in a 1 versus 3, and unfortunately the odds are not playing into his favor. Time is now completely gone as well. He'll find himself eliminated in just a moment. At the very minimum, he's going to try to move in, jumps onto the defuse, but yeah, no time left to allow this to happen, and we will see the C4 explode, giving the round over to Super Valiant Gaming, pushing ahead by 2 rounds now.
And that was just a solid rotation coming out from SV. They knew the A-bomb site was going to be exposed, and they were able to set up nicely on that post plant to make sure they secured the round. And now they are just 3 away from taking map number 1 here in this best of 3. Vienna, though, looking to try and snipe down this lane here and find the opening pick. Elegant having some issues here, so it's definitely possible he could make this happen here. But it's going to be ADRF who actually takes down Elegant there through the edge of the smoke, and that's a nice way to get this started.
Black Dragons off to a banging start again, and ADRF, not sure if he saw it or not. 1 player does drop down from the mid-vent hole. Unfortunately, he's not going to be wise to it as his teammates try to deal with it instead. Will in the process, though, along with 18, both taking lots of damage. Both of them sitting at just around 10. Try and work off him for the rest of the round here, but SV's gone quiet for these next few moments. They've got control of the wood lobby. Of course, they can leverage this into a relatively easy A-tick if they want to, but I'm not sure if that's the intended plan. They still have Dalbao Q waiting back over in the CP room as well, so plenty of options open at this point for the Super Valiant roster.
And we do see a nice opening here for the Black Dragons to grab round number 6. 18, though, even with 10 HP, you cannot underestimate his aim in these close quarters battles. Right now, though, the C4 still in the back of spawn for SV. They don't have a clear site to take at this point. They don't want to challenge Danimal here over towards A bottom. And it looks like we may see a potential push here up into lobby, but it's going to be locked down pretty nicely. Black Dragons with 3 players nearby to respond to this. So really, SV, they need a pick here before they move forward.
Time, unfortunately, though, is going to force SV to make a move. Oh, N9 as well. Some unfortunate unscoped timing. He tries to make a shot again, but the player from Black Dragons on the other side of that. I believe that's going to end up being Vienna or potentially ADRF. Managed to jump their way through it. And the shot will miss from the AWM. So Super Valiant going to be forced to make a move here relatively soon. And it's looking like it's going to be primarily through CP. They've got themselves control be able to at least push up past the big box inside of lockers. But Knutson is waiting at Raptor entry. He's actually going to fall back to the Raptors themselves. Now wrap around the corner. He's immediately taken down by Unke. Same for Will. Great clear coming out from Super Valiant. They continue to dominate. Unke and 18 both picking up frags as well. It's down to Danimal now. 1 versus 4. It's been flashed out. Super Valiant seems to have a complete lock on his position. So ultimately, this is looking like an unwinnable situation, unfortunately for Danimal.
Danimal definitely needs a miracle here, but he gets the first headshot, but already down to 12 HP. Not looking too likely in this one. Dabaku already holding the corner here, throwing down the pre-fire, waiting for Danimal to push through, but Anka finds the final frag there, and SV now 2 rounds away from taking this map.
SV really taking control on their blacklist side. The global risk for Black Dragons has not been kind to them. Oftentimes losing players early in the round or just outright falling on the execute. They seem to be unable to hold within the sights. This entry power from Super Valiant Gaming, just too strong to contest. They've got themselves positioning on top of the big stairs. Obviously an easy take towards the wood lobby. Black Dragons won't even be contesting it. What they do have is a much more active presence inside of the A site towards those big stairs. And of course, a blockade down the mid hallway should we attempt to see Super Valiant push that to take top control or lean it towards B.
And now we see, after making a lot of noise here over towards the A bomb site, they've reverted back already towards this B execution. Could be a split as well. The bomb still working its way back towards the outside wood position here towards A, and it looks like we may see a late split potentially up the lobby in towards B. Knutson, though, playing this corner box position outside lockers, has to be careful. SV ready to attack here. Nice nades coming in as well. Knutson, though, playing patient still, not giving up that positioning.
It's going to be Black Dragons continuing to hold back in their standard spots, just waiting for Super Valiant to make the first move. Super Valiant do not seem too keen on executing first. Very minimum will want to run that timer. Now a well-placed nade. It's going to go in, block off decent vision. So I'll try to restrict Super Valiant, but no, it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade on the exchange, and 18 pushes the threshold. He'll move himself a little bit further up, finds himself a secondary pickup against Vienna. He knocks down the numbers for Black Dragons down low once again. They're now going to switch it, actually, and try to challenge the remaining players on A, but Will be able to hold that off just well. 2 kills quickly coming up from him, both their headshots as well, and it puts Black Dragons now in an advantageous position in a 3 versus 2.
The bomb down as well makes this extremely difficult for the retake of this positioning here. SV not looking too likely to take this round away, but still Elegant and 18 deadly players in this 2v3 situation. Black Dragons want to be careful here not to make a mistake. Elegant, though, lit up. ADRF trying to find the frag, gets one, not the double kill though. 18 alive, looking for the 1v3. Will taking tons of damage there through the pyramid stack, but no frag connects. And unfortunately, 18 still has a 1v2 in 10 seconds to try and get this bomb as well. No time on his side, has to kill Will immediately. But Danimal already in position to attack. Will finds the kill, and just like that, Black Dragons still have some fight left in them here.
And Black Dragons feeling good about that win as well. Was looking for a moment like they had bowed down to Super Valiant, but it's not the case. They'll continue the fight. They'll be 2 rounds back behind the Chinese squad. The last hope for China in this tournament. Don't get us wrong, Super Valiant still very much in control of this half. So far, only the second round we've seen Black Dragons pick up on this second half and on their global risk side for this map. Vienna himself up the big steps leading to A. He's going to try to take contest against some of the Super Valiant players at the double doors, but no connection will be made. He ends up falling away pretty quickly after that. He'll fall back, we'll leave towards top site. 18, though, has snuck himself into the mid hallway. A pretty powerful position to work off of, and I don't know if they know he's got it. Well, ADRF will, at the very minimum, be able to stop him. That gives Black Dragons the 5v4 edge, but Elegant reverses it. He finds that pick with the AWM through the double doors and brings it into a 4 versus 4.
ADRF already low as well in this situation. They need to be careful not to give up another pick to SV if Black Dragons truly want to keep this alive and try and take this map back. Will, though, almost gets caught there, just barely escaping the cross jump to try and help his teammates over towards A. Right now, though, SV, they have not committed anywhere, just looking for that secondary pick before they make their move on to a bomb site.
We are going to continue to see Super Valiant run down the clock here as they look for any options that might present themselves in a way to get past Black Dragons, but so far, none have been revealed. Black Dragons are keeping themselves as quiet and as reserved as possible. On this defensive side, ADRF will end up being the first one challenged, though, behind the triple missiles. He's going to get knocked out immediately by N9. Clean. Swift entry coming in from Super Valiant to net them into the site. Will is available for a trade afterwards, though, but N9, now with control of the Raptors, is continuing to dominate. Dalbao Q pushes back over to CP entry, finds himself the pick, and now N9's looking to hold off the last player inside of the B cage. No room for them to find a way in. It's all on Danimal in the 1v3, and Super Valiant just have great control here. It's up to Danimal to make a big move, but he's going to fall to N9 as he shows up once again and puts Super Valiant on map point.
And this has truly been the difference here. SV on these executions, they're just so methodical. They clear every angle they need to, and Black Dragons haven't had the ample response here to fire back. 3 rounds now, they would need to tie this one and take it into an overtime situation, but SV, 3 chances to close out map number 1, but it is our first best of 3, so it's still not over for Black Dragons. Even if they fall here on sub base, they do have 2 more maps to try and recover this series, but Black Dragons, it would be a shame to see them start at 0-1 on the map score, but SV, they're just 1 round away from making that happen for themselves.
Well, time is going to continue to roll down here as once again SV opened it up with a slow play. Because of the easy access to Wood Lobby, though, they already established positions inside of the mid hallway. As N9 once again take the charge to establish it. The rest of Super Valiant, that similar split with a few players moving into CP room. And from there, they can try to push on towards the B site.
Black Dragons, though, playing so patiently. Every map of the most importance to them here at this point. They don't want any hope of going down 0-1 in this series. They really want to push this one into an overtime situation if they can make it happen. But right now, SV playing equally reserved here, trying to find that initial pick. And then the steamroller comes through, and 9, 10-2 on this half. He's been a remarkable player for SV in these circumstances, especially on the attack. He's always the one finding the openings here, along with Anka in this half, doing a lot of work. Right now, Black Dragons, though, have to respond. The execution potentially going to come over towards B, but it looks like it may be a fake here. They're going to leave one player to lurk around in mid, but the bomb, it's rotating towards A now.
Unfortunately for them, Black Dragons haven't really fully committed themselves into that B site, so they still have presence deep in A, along with quite a few players holding top site. They're not going to start to move them down. They've either spotted a player, seem to have been thrown off, but play from Super Valiant is leaning back towards B again. They've sent 3 more players back into the side of the CP room. ADRF with a good hold at first. However, it's immediately traded out by N9. He's going to try to continue his rampage now, but no, Will and Danimal both find kills. Dalbao Q, however, is looking to turn this around again in the favor of Super Valiant Gaming. Finds himself a nice pick. He's going to have to go back to pick up the C4 is the issue. While he had time after those few kills to be able to actually plant, I'm not sure if the same will be present now that he's given the players on Black Dragons time to rotate over. Regardless, though, they let him do it. And Danimal won't be in the site in time to stop the C4 from going onto the ground. And now it's up to Dalbao Q to shut it down. This is a nice play from Black Dragons, though they've attempted to pinch him. Dalbao Q seems to be potentially reading into this. He's gone towards box corner, just beside the cage. And in a moment, he's going to get a spot on Vienna. Still, though, time going lower and lower. Black Dragons yet to even peek. It's a good flash that goes against Dalbao Q. The push is going to come out from the L corner. They attempt to surround him, and it works. Vienna shuts him down, and the Black Dragons will stay alive.
Only 2 rounds now away from a tie. SV slowly slipping under the pressure here, but they still have 2 opportunities to take this first map down and move on in the series leading 1-0. Right now, SV, though, they need to go back to these solid, methodical, fast executions to try and catch these guys off guard on Black Dragons. They're playing almost a little bit too slow for comfort at this point, and it's given Black Dragons the opportunity to fight back into this game. Right now, though, we do see SV once again playing very reserved at the start. 18 looking for that information from Elturn. Nobody pushed out on Black Dragons, though, playing very, very patient now.
Black Dragons even trying to stop any pressure through the vents this time. It's been a while, actually, since we've seen Super Valiant or any team, really, to try and push them in towards the vents. We are going to look to see Vienna continue to hold this with the arm, however. Super Valiant trying to push their way in unsuccessfully. It's Wilt that finds an opening pick from the inside of the cage against 18, who tries to push L corner unsuccessfully, bringing us into a 4 versus 5.
Black Dragons now with a nice advantage on the round. 18, pretty quiet in this half as well, has made this clawback a potential reality here. They still have some trouble potentially over towards this B bomb site, though. Anka looking for that opening along with Dalbao Q. Could be a potential split as well with these 2 players positioned outside the A double doors, just looking for that opening to strike here. But SV being a man down already, not the situation they would have hoped here, especially 2 rounds away from a potential overtime situation.
Just over a minute remaining on the clock. As we do see Black Dragons continue to hold, continue to play that incredibly passive defensive side. The problem is they have to be, with this type of setup, they're going to have to be constantly worried about barnstorming style execute to come out from Super Valiant here. And Black Dragons haven't had the best track record when it comes to defending against those types of executes. It's mainly going to be on Danimal. He does his supports from topside, so he's trying to delay the fight until we see those players peek out. It won't work, though. N9 moves in for the original kill, but it is a quick trade that comes in from Vienna. Elegant now wrapped around the corner. He'll miss the arm shot, and Vienna is still causing problems from the top side. Will also finds a pick here for Black Dragons as it's down only to Elegant. He's completely surrounded in the steps corner, and it will be Will to shut things down. Black Dragons taking it all the way to full time. One more round, and they'll tie it up and send us into overtime.
Black Dragons, can they do it here? SV, they had such a confident start in this matchup, but right now Black Dragons, they see the opportunity to take the lead here and go into this best of 3 series on top potentially. If they can make this reality here and go into overtime confidently, SV maybe in a tough spot here. Black Dragons, though, holding off nicely so far on the B bomb site. Notson finds the double kill. Dalbeq finally trades it out, but it's still going to be a tough situation here. Black Dragons find 4. It's all on Elegant. No HP to make it happen. Danimal finds it and takes them into overtime, and we're tied at 9.
And so once again, a quick reminder of the format. If you guys are new to Crossfire, it's going to be 3 rounds that will be played out on each side. If the teams are still tied at the end of it, meaning one team being unable to win at least 4 of 6 of the rounds, one final round will be played out called the Golden Round in order to decide the outcome of the match.
And as we wait for this overtime situation, you can see Black Dragons going over their strategies here, feeling that confidence from winning those last 3 rounds in a row to pull themselves into this situation, and they can truly feel like now there's an opportunity to take the series lead and put SV with their backs against the wall for the rest of this match.
Meanwhile, on Super Valiant's side, as you can see, it's a lot more composed. It's a lot less chaotic. Not necessarily trying to hype themselves up as much as keep themselves composed now. That's very unfortunate what happened to them. A massive lead being established at the start of their attacking side, but failed to close out, despite having 3 continuous opportunities to do so, which allowed for Black Dragons to get back into it to tie us up at 9-9 and make us go the distance now, as we will be entering overtime in just a second.
Now with only minimal rounds each half to make an impact, there can't be a slow start from either side here. Black Dragons, though, such a solid defense for them. They really just need to step it up on their attacking side here. They had a lot of issues with their executions being shut down by the likes of Dalbeq almost every time they tried to go towards A. So they have to be prepared for SV to throw those stacks over towards B once again, but actually have the executions they need to pull through Dalbeq's position on A here. I think Black Dragons, if they can make the adjustments, just a few minor things, they could potentially still walk away with this map here.
Just maybe getting a little bit more proactive with that defense on their global risk side to be able to get a little bit better intelligence about where the takes may be happening, since Super Valiant was allowed to execute round after round after round again, and up until the end there, was having decent success with it, but they did kind of fall off, thankfully due to a more centralized play style. Still passive from the Black Dragons. They were able to rotate very quickly on most of these rounds, and their original defender on the site did end up falling. It wasn't too long until the cavalry would arrive, and the players from either mid or the other sites would be making it in to assist and, more importantly, quickly retake the 9 rounds for Super Valiant.
And also looking at the future of this series as well, the next map on the way is Ankara. So I think Black Dragons, if they can win this map, they're going to be feeling very confident because Ankara is a map where they tend to shine here. So SV, they have to realize the importance of taking the early lead in this series because Mexico is sort of a coin toss map for these 2 teams, but Ankara is a map where Black Dragons, they've really shined against the Chinese rosters in the past. So right now, SV, they can really feel that pressure and they just have to remain composed and really show us what they did in that first half.
So guys, we are just waiting for the overtime to kick itself off. Should only be a moment. I'm unsure if we are paused due to a tech issue or not, or whether we're just waiting for the admins to start up the game. Regardless, that we will be going back into it as soon as we can get in game. And we'll continue the fight between Black Dragons and Super Valiant Gaming, who surprisingly have left themselves as the final Chinese team in the event now. Last hope for China. And while we still have both of the Brazilian teams in contention, we're going to be seeing the other one, INTZ, play in the match that'll be coming up after this one.
Definitely crazy to think the only single regional final we could have would be 2 Brazilian teams facing off in that grand final, but I really think SV still has the chance to close this one out. They are the favored team in this situation. They've played, I think, just a little bit stronger throughout, but those last few rounds, there was definitely a lot of holes in their setups, and I think they really just need to readjust. I think 18's positioning was the most flawed in that second half. He didn't have a whole lot of impact compared to what we saw from him on the attack. I think if they can find a position for him to really shine here, this could be a whole new game for these guys.
That's really the case. Meanwhile, on the Brazilian side of the coin, seeing it be a team effort for the most part, although one of our players falling behind a little bit early on. It was ADRF in the first half that seriously struggled. I think it was about 5 or 6 rounds in until we saw him get his first frag onto the board. Still pick up the slack a little bit into the second half, but overall still underperforming compared to the rest of his team, where it's a lot more of an even affair for the other 4 players, as we've been seeing equal impact found by a majority of the roster.
Yeah, and on the positive side for their Blacklist side, if we're looking at Black Dragons, Will was such a key impact finding those early frags. If he can bring that once again into overtime, I think Black Dragons could have a lot of success if we do see those players like ADRF stepping up behind him and making sure the late round goes their way as well.
So once again, guys, just trying to figure out what, I assume it's a technical delay at this point, considering how long we've been out of game. We are just working on getting everyone back into the server, and then we can continue on with the matchup in overtime. The score will be reset, but don't get you wrong, we've played out plenty of rounds so far on this map. It is going to be tied at 9-9. The first one that will reach 4 on what will be the new in-game scoreboard when we go back in a second is going to be the winner of the matchup. And if we're tied, well, it's that one final round to push up to 4 that will decide the fate of both of these teams.
And honestly, this does potentially open it up to see the first golden round come to fruition here, because we haven't really seen one yet. A lot of the overtimes we've gotten to have been fairly one-sided, but looking at how this has played out so far, I wouldn't necessarily say that's going to happen here.
Yeah, especially considering how back and forth we've been seeing both these halves play out. It's been streaky, though. That's the problem. Both teams have been having runs of their own. We haven't really seen a whole lot of back and forth rounds, especially if you look at the second half. So if we end up in a similar situation, it also could end up being somewhat one-sided. We'll have to see who gets off to a good start and then play it from there, as I do think our teams are getting very, very close to match time now. Got pretty much everybody with headsets back on. It should only be a few seconds away. And here we go.
We are right back into it here. It is going to be all tied up overtime, 3-round halves. First to 4 in this situation. Potential golden round if we do tie once again here in overtime. We'll see if that does come into play here, but both teams looking to close out their first map in this best-of-3 series. But right now, Black Dragons, they do have the momentum on their side of winning 3 straight rounds to take it into OT here.
It's Black Dragons that'll move in with a very similar strat that we were seeing on their opening half. It's going to be a lot of pressure into CP room. For Super Valiant, same play from them. They're going to hold back for the most part. Actually, a lot less contention towards the locker rooms that we were seeing in previous rounds, too. But Black Dragon's trying to push on 2 fronts, it looks like. They've got pressure leading into, of course, towards the big steps here to try and knock out Dao Q. But they also have players inside of the locker rooms as well to try and push themselves into CP. They're going to move those away now. They seem to be falling all in onto assuming this is going to be an A hit. And they're right to do that. It's 2 opening kills in the favor of Super Valiant before we see Daniel trade it back as N9 finds most of that impact for his team to open up the round.
And we do see SV with a nice advantage now. The bomb just now getting picked up by ADRF. It's going to rotate back over towards the A-bomb site. They want to try and hit Dao once again, hoping he's alone here. They've studied that first half to know he tends to play this A-bottom position pretty much for himself. And if they can take him out, there could be an opening here to make it happen. But Elegant already in a position to quickly support from upper A. And Black Dragons, they do seem a bit hesitant. They have Notson right now trying to find an opening as well over towards B. They're very spread out, and this could be bad if they go for the aim duels here.
Time's going to force Black Dragons to make a move sooner or later, however. Similar issues that we were seeing on the regulation half is surfacing once again. Black Dragons fall behind on manpower. They don't seem to be able to find an easy way to trade that back out and even out the manpower, and they're worried about trying to execute. Have the advantage to play into their favor, so they're held back, and unfortunately this is going to cause them to go for the low time execute. Keep them following the events throughout most of the tournament. You're going to realize that these have pretty much never worked. 18 will find the opening pick as a trade that moves in from Notson. Danimal, along with Notson, both trying to push their way inside of upper site, but it'll work out. With Anke and 18 both fall down, and now we've been even traded. Now we're going to go down into a 2 versus 2, where suddenly Super Valiant have to rotate quickly from the A site to try and retake.
SV making that mistake of over-rotating here, and now B is all in control for Black Dragons. They find the first, but it's down to the 1v1. Dabaku versus Danimal, a huge round on the line, but Dabaku steps up, gets the 1v2, and SV find the first round here in overtime.
Super Valiant keeping themselves in control now by finding that opening round. We'll have to see, though. Black Dragons got incredibly close themselves to being able to close that out. It was a great reversal down from the 3v4 to try and get access to the B site. They succeeded in finding the plan. But once again, like we were seeing in regulation, in the clutch, time after time again, it's Super Valiant coming out on top. And that is ultimately leading to what could be the downfall for Black Dragons on this map. Oh, an opening shot from Elegant. Seems like it should have easily connected, but no. An immediate response from Vienna gets the better of him.
Vienna, though, was connected on through the doors there. Unfortunately, not enough to take him out. Responding nicely with that kill onto Elegant. SV in a position to potentially fall here on this round if they're not careful. They do rotate once again a lot of resources over towards this A bomb site, and looks like it is just going to be Anka alone on the back of the B bomb site, but he already finds Knotson. Great way to get things started for SV in this round. It's already even to a 4v4.
Black Dragons, of course, still with that big stack of players to lead themselves in from CP room to get them over towards B. No easy way to accomplish that, however. This is often where they struggle to find similar control back in regulation, too. And oftentimes they have to shift away over towards L turn, which explains why Anke is watching that now. In fact, it is looking like we're going to see the same thing happen from Black Dragons. They've got the entry point set up over here towards the L corner. They're going to try to pinch on Anke, though. They've still got Danimal lurking inside of CP room to potentially push into lockers and then eventually try to lock out Anke. So he's rotated back over towards box corner instead. It's going to continue to shift around the site, though, as once again, Black Dragons, as we've been seeing before, big fans of letting the clock run down and, more importantly, letting their opponents get a bit nervous where they could eventually, hopefully, abuse mistakes from them.
And SV put a lot of faith here in Anka on this round, the real anchor on this B bomb site to try and hold off a push if it does come through, and it looks like that is exactly what's going to happen here. Black Dragons looking to collapse here onto the B bomb site. They had a lot of success in that 2v4 situation, almost winning it, and now with the numbers, they might be able to make it happen, though. Anka finds the first, finds the second, drops the bomb. Things going completely wrong here. Anka single-handedly holds it off, finds the triple kill, and it's all on Vienna. A 1v3 arm in hand. He has to do something huge here, but everything has fallen apart, and SV may just have another round here. Vienna stuck on the rotation, can't find the frag just yet. He's stuck in the back of the site, but finds one onto Anka. Dabaku and N9 now hunting him down with just a sliver of health. He has to be careful, taken down from above. N9 swoops in, and SV take that one thanks to Anka on a successful hold.
So we're going to be able to continue to look at SV dominate on their defensive side to start off the overtime half for them. And we're talking about how we were hoping this would be a little bit more back and forth, but it seems the streaky nature of this game that was ending up in regulation has come back to haunt at least Black Dragons once again. Of course, it's been a massive boost to SV's confidence to start off like this, considering how close they were to being able to shut down the game outright in regulation. And now to win 2 rounds in a row at the start of overtime certainly helped their cause. If they can close out on this third round, it should be a relatively easy task, as they'll have those same 3 rounds that they had in regulation to try and close out before we end up in the golden round.
And looking at the regulation scores, SV actually had more success on their blacklist half, so Black Dragons really need this final round of the half to go their way. Otherwise, SV surely in a position to take map number 1 here. Black Dragons, though, looking to go for the B split once again. They have 3 players set up here in control room, ready to attack. Anka, though, once again, going to be the one locking this positioning down, and he's been so key here for the success of SV, but Vienna finds the opening. Dabaku goes down. That's 2. The A bomb site now open. They're going to rotate off. They have a huge opening now, and Black Dragons have Vienna to thank for it.
Super Valiant trying to rotate quickly over towards top site. As you were mentioning, though, the C4 is still incredibly far away. It's going to take them some time to get this into the site. 18 holds off with 1 kill. ADRF working with his teammate, though, is able to knock 18 out of the fight, and more importantly, open up the way over towards the A site. They have their opportunity to plant. Danimal dropping down inside of the vent room as well. Moves himself into a great spot to be able to find Anke, and it's all down to 1, which Danimal will take care of. Black Dragons finally get onto the board in the last round of the opening half of OT.
And that's exactly what they needed here, keeping things close as we go into the blacklist half for these guys on SV, though. They've got to be careful. The SV half on their blacklist side has just been so dominating. N9, such a key entry fragger in these positions, and really Dabaku as well. They're able to just steamroll their way into almost any bomb site. They have such clean executions here that Black Dragons really need to think their defensive half before this one could go very quickly against them.
So pause to figure things out first. So we are going to be switching sides in between the halves. And it'll be really up to the Black Dragons to make things work for them, as I'm sure Super Valiant are feeling good, considering their record on Blacklist was better in regulation. So assuming they can close out on Blacklist, it's only 2 rounds that's needed from them out of the possible 3 that need to go their way. And they'll take map number 1 in their favor. And overall get a 1-0 lead in the series. Quick reminder, we are up to best of 3s now, so this is not the end of the match here. We still have to play out at least 1 more. It'll go to Ankara And then Mexico for our third map. In the event that Black Dragons lose this one, they'll have to strike back quickly on the second and third maps if they want to hope of still being able to close down this series and knock the last Chinese team out. Here comes Super Valiant quickly inside of the A site. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange to start things off. Flashbang will connect against them. 18's got a great lurking position over here on the top side. He'll drop in, but he hasn't realized there's another player to his left side, and Black Dragons shut it all down as they successfully hold the A site.
A lot of misplays in that round from SV, but now Black Dragons, they tie things up here in overtime, and that golden round could be the scary fate to end this match here. 2 rounds left in overtime, and potentially the golden round on the way if it goes 1-for-1 here, but both teams still with a chance to take this one 13-11 if they can grab the final 2 rounds here. Right now, Black Dragons, though, playing their same setup, putting the faith in Vienna to hold it a little bit better this time around if it does go A once again. But right now, it is going to be SV going for early mid-control, just playing very spread out here.
Elegant's moving himself into a good position. Push forward here for Super Valiant. And 9 continuing to fight at the doorway, too. It's 18 that strikes first, though. Catches Vienna as he tries to push himself up the big steps leading to A. And that will give Super Valiant the edge they need to potentially push into that site. They're rotating most of their players over into position now. They still get the ball back by Spawn, though. They need to quickly move in to pick that up.
And they will only put 1 player on A bottom still. ADRF rotates into position, but again, he seems to be playing it a little bit too forward as well. That's exactly what cost Vienna his life, and he realizes his mistake. He's going to back off and play this one a little bit safer here over towards A. SV, though, ready to attack here. They've got 4 players grouped outside of this A double doors. They're actually going to fall back here. It looks like they do want to challenge B in hopes that they've over-rotated towards the A bomb site, and they may be right here. The only one for Black Dragons over towards this B bomb site hold is going to be Knotson trying to lock this one down. He's quickly going to find himself in a 1v4 to hold the bomb site.
Super Valiant just lurked themselves in due to the lack of a hold from Black Dragons. They'll be able to walk in uncontested until they get themselves to the locker room. Knotson has gotten the spot. He does try to move back over to watch for a play on L-turn, but it's not going to work out. He ends up getting out of position. And 9 and 18 both pick up opening frags, and that's it, really. It's down to ADRF and Danimal. They've been locked inside of the A portion of the map. Elegant will cut off Danimal as he tries to push himself outside. And so everything now falls down to ADRF in a 1 versus 5, asking the impossible of him. Otherwise, it will be Super Valiant pushing up onto map point now. It's a good start. Manages to cut off the player that was trying to flank him as Elegant goes down. But still 4 more kills to find. And only just under 20 seconds to defuse the C4 as well. He'll push in. He's gone through box corner. Back into the cage. He tries to play for any position he can find. But no. Daobao Q will jump in, eliminating him. And now Super Valiant get themselves up onto map point once again.
And now we go into an intense situation here for Black Dragons. Golden round or bust here on map number 1. Quite a way for it to end regardless, but if we go to that golden round, it's all a complete reset. 1 round decides the entirety of this map, and both teams surely nervous in that situation. Looks like we are going to see the early boost coming out from Black Dragons, sending Vienna here to try and defend the Vents position. Meanwhile, SV, though, just spreading out once again, looking for the early pick here, and as we've seen, stalling out for these late executions has actually worked out quite well for SV on their blacklist side.
Super Valiant continuing to play slowly. They don't want to make any mistake on what could be the round to shut down this map for them. Black Dragons, in the meanwhile, still sticking to their incredibly passive setups here on the global risk side. Super Valiant, as they don't get any aggression thrown at them by BD, they are going to start to push themselves into the wood lobby. They've got control. More importantly, are using smokes to push them back. Super Valiant's Elegant will find the opening pick as well from the AWM down the hall and through the smoke, I believe, too, to take down Will. With Super Valiant in control in a 5v4.
And now all of the pressure will be on Black Dragons here. Man down. They need this round, otherwise it will be over here on subbase. They've got to bring out everything they have here to try and stop this SV execution that may come through shortly here. 1 minute left on the clock. SV, they've got to move quickly here. It looks like they may grab that bomb and head towards A. Still not even pushing in for any sort of map control just yet. And now they are finally slowly working their way in here. But Danimal, he's the one who has to step up if the A push comes in. SV, though, still taking their time, 40 seconds on the clock, and they don't seem even phased in this situation as they look for yet another pick. Super
Valiant not shuffling in just yet. Still wanting to run in the time, but they've really run themselves out of time to a certain extent. Now they're at 30 seconds. No sign of an execute coming in for them whatsoever. It looks like it is finally going to shift itself in towards the B site for Super Valiant as they work themselves around the corner. Over around. Notson will be waiting up on the top rafters. A great position for him. Wraps it into a second, too, as he cuts down Super Valiant's roster. 18's there for a trade. Finds a second, looking for one more to try and close out, but no, it's going to be Black Dragons that take it all the way to the golden round to settle map number 1.
What a way to keep going here in this first semifinal, the first golden round here as well of the tournament so far. It's all going to be down to just one single round to decide who takes the lead in this best of 3 series. A lot on the table for both of these teams, so they have to have everything here in just one round.
Switching, getting our players ready to jump into that last round once again. Too long before we get them into the game and ready to play out that one final round that'll determine the map 1 victor for Black Dragons, a chance to steal away a map that we should have seen the Super Valiant Gaming roster take handily considering their results from earlier. For Super Valiant, pressure certainly against them now as they are last hope for their region in this event. To go down 0-1 to start this off is certainly not the way they would have liked to see this play out. Here we go though, into the golden round to decide the opening map. Super Valiant or Black Dragons. Let's find out how it's going to go. Super Valiant will be on attack. Black Dragons on defense. Start things off with their usual push. 3 into CP. Doesn't stay that way for long, though. They do shift the majority of their players over towards mid outside and the wood lobby doors relatively quickly.
I definitely appreciate the setup, too, from Black Dragons. Most teams tend to get too overly aggressive in these golden rounds, throwing too many curveballs at the other team and getting caught for doing so. Black Dragons, though, playing their standard setup, one player A bottom, the rest sort of spread out towards this B bomb site. They're doing exactly what worked for them in the first half, and we'll see if it pays off for them here in this golden round. But right now, SV, they're moving just equally slow in this position as well, trying to get a feel for where these players are going to be positioned, and they want to have everything perfect for this final attack here. Almost a chance to take down a player there for Elegant, but Danimal just going to jump away and run down the clock a little bit more.
Super Valiant got no issues running down the clock. We've seen both teams actually use their attacking sides to do this quite consistently. But look at this, it's going to be Danimal leaping through the door and the smoke for a double kill. A trade not even against him. They do find one pickup on Vienna coming from Unke, but the damage is now done. They put it into a 4 versus 3, and Super Valiant are going to have to try and find a way to bring this back.
SV, though, still full HP on all of their players. Meanwhile, Danimal just a sliver of HP to work with in this situation, and we've seen time and time again, SV, the numbers do not matter for them. They know how to close rounds, and now more than ever, they need to make that a reality here. The bomb, though, awkwardly alone here over towards A. They're going to rotate him into B as well, and it looks like that's where they're going to attack here. Notson getting into trouble, but Will finds the opener. Notson takes down one. It's all on Anka, a 1v4, the golden round on the line here. Anka has to make a big play. He has an opening over towards the A bomb site. Nobody there on the bottom of A. They do have one player upper A, and it's going to be ADRF not looking into that position, and now Anka, he has a chance to either go in for the flank here or get this bomb down. Golden round on the line, though. Anka is going to go ahead and plant here, has a lot of time to position himself. BD already on the rotation here. No way they should lose in this situation. Anka has to pull off a miracle round here. It would be an ace clutch to take this one away for SV, and they have no idea he's behind this box. Anka goes down. Black Dragons, they take map 1, golden round, and that is going to be it. A 1-0 lead. Black Dragons do the upset here, but now they need to do it yet again on map 2.
And of course, incredibly happy about the way they close out. Super Valiant don't seem phased by it. They do drop that opening map, though, and had plenty of opportunities, we should mention, to close it out. Super Valiant at 1 point leading in regulation at 9-6. It was the players from the Black Dragons that bring it all the way back to 3 rounds in a row at the end of regulation to take it to overtime, and then continuing to trade back and forth after falling down 0-2. They bring it back yet again to eventually win the golden round and take control of the first map.
What an absolutely incredible game. What a huge comeback as well there from Black Dragons. They were looking down and out like half an hour ago, and they managed to drag it back slowly but surely, almost lost in overtime, and coming down to that golden round as well. It does not get any closer than that, Kyle. That was incredible.
Yeah, and Black Dragons, they definitely look like the team to beat. Now, I mean, looking at Subbase, that was a map I had pegged for SV to win.
Yeah.
And now going into Ankara, which is honestly, I think their best map of this series here in terms of overall strength looking at their past matches. So they have to be feeling very confident here. But SV, they're the last hope for the Chinese on the line now.
Yeah, what a world that would be heading into the finals on Sunday, heading into Nanjing and the arena. Imagine having no Chinese teams there. What went right for Black Dragons? What went wrong for SV?
I think for SV, they just got too overconfident on their defensive half, and they let a lot of things slip there. Their attacking side looked great. Even in overtime, they were doing a lot of work here, but when it came down to it, in overtime, it really felt like Black Dragons, they stepped up their mistakes from the initial ones they had in regulation.
Blue, what stands out for you in this match?
Really slow play coming out from both teams for the
Yeah.
most part there. Both teams on their global risk side just not wanting to try and make any moves for intel or even trying to play aggressively whatsoever for the most part, except for a few exceptions that we saw. And that oftentimes allowed for the team that was on blacklist to just push, have their way with the sites a lot of the time. To just push their way into either B or A and oftentimes find relatively easy executes where they could leverage into a plant.
So based on the maps, and we know what's coming up next, you genuinely believe now, Kyle, that Super Valiant are going to struggle to bring this back with the next map being favored for Black Dragons?
I think so. I think for SV to win this series now, they have to have a really, really big start in map number 2 and just sort of steamroll Black Dragons in the second map.
Well, guys and girls, we're going to take a very quick break. And when we come back, it's map number 2 in this semi-final. Hello and welcome back. It is our first semi-final here at CFS 2018. We are one map in, a map that went to golden round. It does not get any closer than this, but right now, the Brazilians, Black Dragons, are just one map away from eliminating the last remaining Chinese team. And Kyle, I'm not going to say that would be a travesty because that would be amazing for the foreign teams, but for China, that would be an absolutely huge deal.
Yeah, definitely. It would be the first time we not only have a non-Chinese grand final, but they wouldn't even have a chance at winning, let alone second place, which is unheard of in CFS history.
That would absolutely be incredible. The foreign teams so far this week have been turning up. They've been playing some amazing Crossfire, and every time I count them out, every time I say, no, the Chinese team has it, they just come back bigger and better and stronger, Blue, and prove me wrong.
Yeah, really, it's been a meteoric rise for the Brazilian teams. This one, INTZ coming out of absolutely nowhere. No one really expected them to be able to do too much because they've been completely absent from the CFS for the last couple of years. But for Black Dragons, a very poor start in their opening match versus AG, but a massive rebound to take them all the way against SV to even win the first map on Subbase. So if they can continue to move forward and now move on to a map which is relatively favored for them on Ankara, this could be quite the storyline going into the grand finals.
It's a very big deal, and well, what a world that would be heading into Nanjing for sure. So let's talk about this next map. Let's talk about Ankara. We're about to head in by the looks of things. Cole, as we get into this match, talk us through once again, why is this favored for Black Dragons?
So for their play style, they have very clean rotations and they like to play very passive. So on the defensive half of this map, which is generally the harder half, they're going to shine, and a lot of teams tend to struggle on that side of the map and fall out because of it. So Black Dragons, with their defensive half on this map generally being pretty strong, I think they're going to be in a really good position here. But to be fair, it does favor who starts on the attack, and it looks like that's where they're going to be as well. So it's really a great position for them to be in, but still, up against the shots of SV, you've got to be careful.
All right, well, we are into the map now. It is going to be Ankara that could potentially be the final battlefield for this best of three. Black Dragons stealing away Subbase from Super Valiant. Now onto a position where they can certainly swing ahead and close out this entire series, eliminating the last hope of China in the tournament. Let's go. Let's not waste any time as the Black Dragons, well, they'll continue to open up with a relatively slow style of play on this first round. Seems to be centralizing that pressure over towards mid, though, after a little bit of delay.
Very standard setup for them as well here. Just playing that 2-1-2, putting a lot of pressure, though, in mid so far from Black Dragons. They're going to be trying to potentially work their way into an execution here over towards that B bomb site. Vienna already trying to find an opening here from the underpass. Looking for an opening, though, through the smoke can be quite tricky. And SV, they're just going to be playing around it pretty perfectly here, not giving up too much positioning and playing very passive before this execution comes through. But they've almost completely given up B in the process. They're very far forward, both in mid and B, and nobody's holding this bomb site. There's a huge opening now.
So it's looking like the Black Dragons are going to be able to walk directly in through the connector, getting themselves easy access, and there it is. They've managed to work their way up onto the site. Super Valiant are going to get forced away from it and have to play further away. Elegant gets dropped to start off the round by Will. Anke's trying to find a trade, but it's no luck. Will gets himself a second frag, and is now going to try to continue his rampage here. Super Valiant falling down and honestly not even leaving themselves a whole lot of room to retake here either.
And now the 5-on-3 retake here, but SV finds 3 kills already. WQ and N9, 2 very strong players in this situation. Can they do it and start SV off on the right foot? Already down to a 1v2. Vienna, the last hope to hold on. It's not going to happen, though. N9 finding the final 2 kills there. Big retake coming out, and SV, they started off shaky in the round, but they close it perfectly.
An excellent comeback considering how limited their options were as well, and how easily it seemed like Black Dragons were able to take control of that B site, a walk right in through the connector, and no contestation coming out from Super Valiant whatsoever. But still, they make it work, and they will claim the opening round on their global risk side.
Black Dragons now early on going to be putting a lot of presence here over towards this A bomb site position, looking for those early peaks. But as we've seen in the past, SV does a great job of creating these smokescreen diversions and forcing the pressure onto Black Dragons. Again, playing a very passive setup, but they have learned from the mistake in round 1 there. Anka going to be playing a little bit closer to that underpass position so they can't sneak out and find their way in, but it looks like Black Dragons, they're already pretty keen on finding a pick here over towards mid or A.
It's going to remain quiet for now, though, as Black Dragons look to try and once again bring down the timer. Both teams, you can tell, incredibly worried about making mistakes here. It's overall much more passive play than we've seen in some of our previous matches due to how much pressure is on these teams now. It's Elegant that ends up taking some heat early on due to a nice peek from the Black Dragons, knocks out about half of his HP, but no kill being found yet. Still, though, Black Dragons much more split up than we had seen in the previous rounds. And they are wanting to run down that timer a lot more this time.
Right now, it looks like we may see a push coming through mid. Elegant, though, not really aware that this could be taking place here. Not in position to make it happen. Will already pushing out of underpass as well. But Anka gets the double kill to open it up. Elegant finds another, takes down Notson. As he takes down Anka, it's going to be a 4-on-2 situation. Will and Vienna looking to try and clean things up, though. Will finds Elegant, and they still have a little bit of control here, but the bomb is down, and this is where they have to try and dig their way in to the global risk spawn. N9, though, already on patrol here. 18 in for the support as well. They have to be cautious, but Will, he's already found another one, picking up his 4th frag of the map already. N9, he gets spotted, but he needs the support now from Vienna, but he misses the flank here. Dabaku able to flick around here and hold things off, but Will, he's already found a 3rd here. Black Dragons single-handedly with Will taking this round back into their hands, and now Vienna just has to bring it to a close here, but it's not going to happen. Dabaku finds him, but the C4 now in Will's hands, and it's going to be a 1v1 as the bomb is now planted on the B bomb site.
All coming down to Will, who's already done massive effort in this round for Black Dragons. Super Valiant, though, still have a chance. It's their big player on the field, Q. We talked a lot about him in the lead up to these matches and overall in the lead up to this tournament and how much impact he's been able to find in previous events. The drop down, and he will be able to successfully take out Will. In a very, very close scenario, it goes the way of Super Valiant once again. They'll push ahead 2-0.
And another round here where Black Dragons, they have the clean start to the round, but they can't close it. And you can see Will a bit frustrated after that one, but rightfully so. He almost had 4 kills and the round for his team, but he's not the one who has to lead this one through. The whole team has to step up here for Black Dragons if they want to close these rounds here. SV, though, doing a great job of making sure they're spread out across the board, and there's no easy way for Black Dragons to get in without a fight.
Dragons, a lot of noise being made in the early round here, and a good opening contact made by ADRF. Absolutely decimates 18's HP. He's brought down to right around 10, so he's certainly not going to be able to jump into any big fights for the rest of the round now. Still slow play. Will's moved himself forward in the meantime. By the way, he's got a great position to establish with the bridge. Nearly gets caught, though. On the way, jumping back down into mid itself. As he's now going to try to toss some utility out to hold off the B players, potentially leaving room for Black Dragons to do more over towards that A site at long.
Nice shot there from Will. Takes down 18. Black Dragons still, they've led these rounds from the start, but SV, they have been the team to close them out. They need to be careful with this execution over towards the A bomb site. N9, a very deadly player in close quarters here, finds himself the opener, but that's going to be it here. ADRF quickly trades it out, and it's going to be a 3v3 here. So far, though, the bomb will get planted on this bomb site, but right now the retake already happening. SV sending 3 players aggressively here into the GR spawn to try and retake. Already Dabaku running into trouble here, though. Notson playing on this corner already hears the mistaken steps here. Danimal coming in for the support as well. 2 players in the back corner, but Dabaku, he's ready for one, but not ready for Notson, who finds the double kill. Elegant, now alone, finds himself the trade, but it's going to be Elegant and ADRF for a big round here. SV trying to stay on top, but it's not going to happen. ADRF shuts it down, and finally BD get around.
So 2 rounds to start for Super Valiant, but the Black Dragons do quickly find their own footing as well on the attacking side. They get their first round on the board on the 3rd, and they're going to look to continue that further on as well. They'll head up towards B long first off. Won't be able to push their way past the big doors just easily. However, especially in mid, we're going to see a lot more contention coming out from Super Valiant. Okay, seems ready to take the fight, but no, he'll end up falling. 18 has better luck, however. He's able to find one, but he too is going to end up going down to Vienna, giving an early advantage over to the Black Dragons in a 4v3.
A lot of pressure coming in over towards the B bomb site. SV slipping under the pressure here. We'll see if they can hold on, though, a 3v4 situation, but Vienna already down to 14 HP makes this one winnable very easily for SV to swing back. They do rotate 2 players over towards B as well. They're just going to have 1 single player in N9 on this A bomb site. Right now, though, BD going to rotate off here, looking for the re-execution here, potentially to take control of mid, or maybe even swing back over towards the A bomb site. It looks like they are going to go all the way back towards A now. N9 in the key position here to try and hold things off, but BD have the numbers severely on their side here.
Got the position taken up over towards long. Ready to push themselves into that A site in a moment's notice. A little bit timid, however, to take that route. They keep shifting back and forth between the respective long routes to lead up to the site. As Time continues to grow lower here. Black Dragons need to find themselves in a committed position soon, as we're just under a minute now. Thankfully, still a decent amount of time to work themselves into something. We are going to have to see them make a decision soon, and I believe that decision will be made to lead over towards B as they continue to lurk their way up to the site.
SV, though, responding nicely. They're actually rotating in for a B stack already. Elegant holding the cross, a counter flash already over the top, but Vienna takes down 2 in the global risk spawn. It's all on N9, the 1v4. He needs a huge play here for SV to hold on. The bomb going down already. Danimal, Knotson, and Will looking to hold on to this bomb site, but N9, could he be the player to shine through and make it happen for SV? Another counter flash hits him right between the eyes there, and Will finds the kill, and just like that, we're tied up.
There's the tying point now. Both teams at 2. And Black Dragons, again, finding that footing necessary to close out the round. A much slower pace taken by them, as it seems like the faster plays were allowing for SV to sneak through some mistakes that have been left open by the Black Dragons and pick up rounds in their own regard. Nice, slow, controlled play to come out from Black Dragons has obviously been working out a whole lot better for them.
Even into map 2 here as well. Will, the entry frag machine here for Black Dragons. They're going to go straight into this A bomb site. N9, no luck there on the hold. Dabaku tries to hold on. 18 comes in for the support. And just like that, there's some sense of a hold here going through, but Knotson, he can't get it to happen either. Will, left alone in a 1v3, finds the first, looking for the triple kill, but it's not going to happen. Elegant shuts it down. Anka there for the support.
There's that problem showing up again. I talked about it before. Slow play seems to be the name of the game for Black Dragons. Not these faster takes. They're leaving too many options open for mistakes to be made, and those mistakes are happening. Black Dragons cannot control these incredibly chaotic, fast takes, and as a result, SV are shutting them down even when the actual site is taken. The retake still ends up working out for SV. This time, though, Black Dragons don't even get to the site. They're shut down in their attempted push, and SV now take the lead again as a result of that.
SV very forward positioning here in this round. They want to make sure that nobody can get through the initial entry points here over towards B. Both N9 and Anka try and push out for the initial pick, but it's not going to happen. They have to back off here, but they see 2 players pushed out B. Black Dragons, they're just going to go right into this A bomb site, and there is nobody left to try and stall it besides 18 here playing from the back of Connector. And so far, Will may just have the opening pick here. Elegant goes down alone on the A bomb site, and BD find a great position here to attack. Vienna takes down 18, but Anka finally able to trade, but it's still a 3v4 retake.
Okay, N9 and Dalbao Q need to bring it back for Super Valiant now. They're all going to be working their way over from B through the spawn to be able to get themselves back into the other site. Over. They're looking for positions to establish on it. You even have Will waiting over it long to try and cut off anyone that tries to go through mid. We're not going to see it, though, so Will needs to move himself into a better position soon, as here comes the retake. A lot of great flashes coming out from Super Valiant. It's going to force Knotson to dive down the steps and work his way back up. Danimal, though, leaping back out, but he can only get 1. The trade's continuing to go back and forth. We'll end up another 1v1 as Dalbao Q finds his most recent pickup, and Will's incredibly low as well. Dalbao Q will get himself in. The problem is time is incredibly low. He does not have enough to defuse the bomb, and as such, Will claim the last flag. Black Dragons will find another round, and we will be tied again at 3-3.
Another great round from Will there as well. All he had to do there is just run down the clock. Had he swung out wide and died, there would have been time for the defusal coming out from Dabaku. So Will, once again, being that key that Black Dragons needs to move forward in this match. 11-4, still the driving force behind this lineup, and rightfully so. Phenomenal play from him. 3 rounds left now in this first half. BD tying it up and looking for the lead now. SV, though, still not able to piece together these rounds probably as nicely as they'd like to here. Dabaku, though, still 9-4. High impact from him, but right now, Elegant, again, being one of the players that needs to step up for SV. He hasn't found a whole lot of picks when these executions come his way.
Black Dragons are going to favor a mid push again. Already have good positions established in order to push themselves forward, and no resistance will come from it. From SV. They're holding back. Closest thing to a hold we have from them is going to be closer to the GR spawn with 18 holding around the corner. If we end up seeing Black Dragons push the threshold to get themselves towards the B site. There's 18 looking to hold in his own regard. Both kills found by Super Valiant. It's Anke and Elegant, though, that get them. Anke finding 2 additional kills as well for a triple kill on the round. Beautiful stuff from him. And just like that, it's all down to Vienna in a 1 versus 5. Should, in theory, be an easy closeout now for the Chinese squad to take the lead again.
And there you have it. Vienna finds 2, though. Somehow, I thought Elegant was going to be able to trade that one, but somehow Vienna has a fighting chance here. But with 3 HP, still not a likely situation to win. The bomb down as well. 50 seconds on the clock, a little bit of time to work with, but just not the HP to make this one happen. He has to be extremely careful. Already spotted, though, from WQ on the lurk there, taken down. And SV will find themselves back into the lead, doing a good job of holding BD back.
So 2 rounds left in the half. Black Dragons, unfortunately, I don't think finding the impact they would have liked on this attacking side. The sights oftentimes being wide open. But even then, in a post plant, not able to control it against Super Valiant Gaming, as they've constantly been able to trade back and forth and back again. And now with the lead in their favor, Black Dragons will look to once again tie the equation up 4-4. It's going to be pretty quick play once more from the Black Dragons, but in the process, they're going to end up running into one of the members of Super Valiant. N9 goes down early on. Vienna will get hit pretty heavily via nade, but Vienna will continue the fight anyway. Finds another pick. It's going to be 18 that finds really the only trade against Black Dragons here, and we're down to a single player again. It's Dalbao Q for Super Valiant. Good start for him as he moves over, does some decent damage, looks to close out the kill, but no, it won't happen. Notson instead gets it. And we continue to seesaw, now at 4-4, with Black Dragons finding the most recent round.
Now still a half able to be won here for Black Dragons as they pick up that round. It's going to be SV, the team needing to respond here. Black Dragons, they already have a map lead in this series. They really don't want to be going into that second half. Already down, looking potentially out in this one. 5-4, though, still a respectable half for either team to take away. But right now, Black Dragons seem to have the control they've been looking for here. Will, not necessarily the one leading the charge here, but that's what we needed out of Black Dragons. Everybody has stepped up to the plate to shut down SV. Right now, though, we see BD once again favoring this B-bomb site take, leaving one player there over towards A long to lurk and wait for the rotation here. But BD, they've had a lot of success here over towards B, so rightfully so going back for this attack.
Black Dragons looking for their initiation right to get themselves into a site. Super Valiant has gone incredibly passive now, playing almost entirely just into the site. A 2-2 split with a number 4 man playing in towards the middle. That's it's going to be 18. That'll position himself in the middle. It's Elegant in previous rounds. But even for 18 now, he started to fall back. He's leaning a little bit more towards an A hit, but that'll be a mistake. It seems like the rest of Super Valiant are leading into this one too. We've got a few more players shuffling themselves off of the B site. This could also be to leave it open since the entry power from Black Dragons has been a lot stronger on this map than we've seen in the last map.
Elegant, though, trying to hold it off, finds the opening pick. Nicely done onto Danimal here. ADRF, though, swings across the top, grabs a double kill, and this could be the half for Black Dragons that they've been looking for now. Elegant, very low, goes down to Notson. It's going to be up to N9 and WQ now on the retake, but Notson finds another one, takes down WQ through the edge of the smoke, and it's on N9. A 1v4 situation, the bomb planted. He has to do something huge here, otherwise BD is another step closer to taking this into a 2-0 victory for themselves, but N9 on the back finds the double kill. ADRF already low on HP as well. Notson has to be the hero here along with ADRF to try and stop this, but N9, he finds the third, looking for the 1v4, down to a 1v1 situation, but he's not going to find it. Notson shuts it down, and still BD remain on top at the half.
They always seem to fall short at the last kill, and unfortunately for Super Valiant Gaming, that's what's going to happen again for N9. So close to the 1v4. Falls short on the final kill. Black Dragons will push ahead with the lead coming off of their blacklist side, 5-4. And now they will switch to Global Risk, where 5 rounds separate them from elimination of the final Chinese team left in the event and a spot in the grand finals here at CFS 2018.
Overall, SV in a difficult position now. They had so many rounds that came down to the wire, but right when they needed these players to step up, they couldn't win those 1v1s and 1v2s in order to put themselves back on top here. But now we do have Black Dragons 5 rounds away from making history and preventing a Chinese team from making the grand finals and potentially securing themselves as a winner in the grand finals as well. Looking like the team to beat here in this series so far, but SV, we cannot sell them short just yet. A team that knows how to come back into events and swing back even harder on their opponents, and we'll see if they can do it on their blacklist half.
Talked about it a few days ago. SV oftentimes wait until that very last moment to get themselves into a game. And if there was ever a time, it's going to have to be now. We need a banging start on their Global Risk side. We want the Black Dragons look to crush them quickly on Global Risk and take control of this entire series. Slow wind up again from from Super Valiant Gaming as they're going to take a route through mid at the beginning of the round. Now, Will's aware of this. Will knows he's got a lot of presence from the players on SV right around the corner. It's not going to stop him, though. Tries to move in and take a little bit of a challenge and actually gets some damage off in the meanwhile. At least his teammate will move around the corner, though. Will's not ready for the play. It's N9 dominating both the players positioned in mid for Black Dragons and opening that B site wide open for the taking.
Definitely a big misplay in mid there. Coming out from Black Dragons, now SV has a huge opening here to win this round. 3v5 for the retake, make it a 2v5 as ADRF goes down. Notson finds one, Danimal finds another, but Notson's taken out now. Danimal in a 1v3, stuck in the back of spawn, but N9 a huge round, 4 kills going his way, and that's a big statement coming out of SV to start that half.
It's really been the hero for Super Valiant today, as we saw in the previous matchup as well, able to net himself nearly 30 kills, and he had a very, very similar match in yesterday's winter finals as well. So some good stuff coming out from N9, oftentimes the saving grace for Super Valiant, where some of the other players that we've expected to step up, such as Elegant, have unfortunately been unable to do so. Black Dragons, however, now going to start to shake a little bit here, as they've lost their edge, they've lost their lead. The opening round going in Super Valiant's favor. It's a good start for them on the attacking side. If they can continue it, well, Black Dragons might find themselves in a troublesome position and potentially a third map on Mexico to settle the series.
Mexico definitely a place that Black Dragons doesn't want this series to go to. They can see the light at the end of the tunnel here, and they are ready to close this one out. But SV, such a difficult team to have standing in your way of that grand final here in N9. An even more deadly player individually making things happen here so far in this second half. Meanwhile, we do see Black Dragons, though, putting a lot of effort here over towards the B bomb site, leaving mid fairly open. Will just playing the passive hold here from the spawn windows, hoping that someone crosses that line of sight. But SV look to potentially challenge it here once again.
It's going to be a slow wind-up once more here for both of our teams. Will get completely blinded out in an attempt to reposition. Black Dragons need to stop second-guessing themselves. It's constantly causing lost players. Will end up going down. The players on site don't seem to be doing too well in holding it out either. Super Valiant run right through them, and another easy B take is accomplished by Super Valiant. The attempt to rotate is going to start out okay for Danimal. Moves in, finds a 1-for-1 trade. He's also brought down to 50 HP, and Elegant will complete the trade now, knocking him out and leaving only Notson alive in a 1v4.
Notson as well, completely exposed here, still gets the opening frag here to start this 1v4, but he needs a lot more than that to make this one happen. Spots Elegant in the corner, finds himself a second, both remaining players around half HP. This is winnable, but with only 14 seconds, he has to move very quickly here. He's gonna stick the defuse. Can he get the ninja? No, he's going to pop off of it just in the nick of time. Finds one, can he find the double kill? Gets the 1v4, Notson doing incredible things here in the semifinals with just enough time to defuse, less than a second. Incredibly done.
Just about half a second left. Beautiful stuff from Notson. We continue to see clutch after clutch after clutch from Black Dragons to bring them back from defeat. And they've done it once again. Saves their lead, and obviously is going to be a massive momentum shift into their favor now. It's 6-5, 4 rounds away from series victory and a slot in the grand finals.
Black Dragons, could they do it here? Now leading this series and the map 6-5. N9 taking some damage already in this round as well, and he's the player they need to shut down. The only one making a huge enough impact to tilt these rounds in favor of SV. If they take him down, it's definitely going to be a clearer path to making this one happen, but Daobaku going to be playing pretty forward here, looking for a potential pick here over towards A, but he's almost a bit nervous to challenge these players too deep into that vent. N9, though, going to rotate into the underpass position this time around. He's had a lot of success pushing out of mid, and so they will have him with 18 leading the charge here to try and find their opening picks once again. But ADRF will spot them here. Doesn't take really too much damage from that situation as well.
Super Valiant still trying to wean their way out through the connector to work their way into the B site. It's not proving to be the most easy job in the world, though. Super Valiant keeping options open, too. They've got their number 5 player lurking on the other side. Daobaku looking for options to lead up towards A in the back lanes that would lead to the site. He's probably going to have to abandon that relatively soon, though, due to the majority of Super Valiant still being ready to move in for an execute. Also, unfortunately, with N9 taking the heat that he did before, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to lead the charge going into this site. He's turning to mid-smeet pretty quickly if he walks into this crossfire that's set up from Black Dragons right now.
Vienna in such a good spot here as well, but he has to hit this shot as they come around the corner. Otherwise, there's still that chance that SV could sneak their way in. Vienna, though, he's ready to attack here. Vienna finds the first. That's going to be it, though. N9 quickly trading it out, but Daobaku want to be shut down by ADRF here, but Elegant pulls through and finds the trades here. Now down to a 2v2 situation. Daobaku very low on health. BD with a nice health advantage. The bomb potentially to be planted here on B, but right now these two players for SV are very much separated. This could go wrong here.
Will's got to be careful. He's potentially going to have players lurking onto him in just a moment here if he's not watching out. And he'll walk directly into it. Dalbao Q gets perfect timing. And it's left all down to Danimal now in a 1v2. Still very far away from the retake as well, working his way in through the connector. Unfortunately, time is not on his side. He's working with minimal intel as well. He has to try and figure out exactly where Super Valiant have positioned themselves. Dalbao Q's gone incredibly far back to play away from this site. He'll take last contest as a last resort. It's going to have to be Elegant. He'll take the primary battle. As he moves in, they try to go for a dual peek. Danimal can't close out on either of these players, though. Tries to jump himself onto the defuse. He'll end up in a double peek situation with both the members of Super Valiant working against him, and they'll successfully trade out the round now. We'll be tied again.
And the back and forth continues, unfortunately, for SV. When it came to the back and forth in map number 1, they were not able to close it out, and BD took it in a golden round situation. But right now, overtime looking like a real possibility here once again on map 2. Nice nade comes out over the top, but Elegant answers back nicely and takes out Vienna early on here. And that is not what BD were hoping for in this round. Still, 2 players remain over towards the A bomb site. They've stacked it nicely, so SV could easily run into this trap and be taken down as well. They're definitely going to rethink this one. They know the rotations have come through, and SV, they're going to hesitate, but properly so here.
Got SV being forced back after throwing a lot of utility over here towards the A long. Vienna, of course, being the victim of that. Knocked out early on, and Elegant only losing about half of his HP in response. It's going to be SV that'll continue to slow play this and run down the timer more and more as Black Dragons seem to have flatlined a little bit now on this defensive side. Coming close indeed and looking like they were able to crush SV based on the result from that first round, but not remaining consistent. SV constantly find a way to battle back into these rounds, as we would expect the world champions to be able to do. But they're defending that title right now. Not only that, but they're still defending their position to get to the world finals to begin with. Black Dragons have done an amazing job of potentially posturing up for a 2-0 win. We've got a long, long way before SV have found their way back into this series here. So they're going to have to continue to battle these rounds back. They want to have a hope of sending it to Mexico to still secure that grand final position.
Black Dragons, though, taking a big risk here. They've only got 1 player watching for the cross onto this B bomb site. The rest of their team will be stacked over towards A here. Dalbao making a bit of noise here to try and sell the fake as well. But SV, look at this positioning. Full control of this bomb site, and they have no idea, but Dalbao will go down, but they have full control of B. They have to rotate quickly for BD to have any chance at this retake, but N9 always in the aggressive position here, ready to strike. BD having to rotate right into this one, but N9 finds the first. Really be able to find the second here. Still holding on to this positioning is key here. As long as he's not taken down, N9 finds another, looks for the third. It's not going to happen. Notson takes down N9, and now there's a chance at the retake. 2-on-3, though. They have their backs against the wall here for BD. The time is ticking. Elegant finds another. It's all on Will. The 1v3, 15 seconds to make this happen. Not looking likely. Will has to move in aggressively, and he has to do it now. 10 seconds here to try and sneak in and get this defuse, but there's just no time to make it happen. Will has to force a play here, finds one, but there's no time to get this defuse. Has to try and run it and stick it, but it's just not going to happen. Anka takes him down. A nice attempt there, but just not enough time there for Will to make it happen.
Still manages to bring it down to just 1 player standing from Super Valiant, but as you said, ultimately re-executes into the site far too late. Even if he got that last kill, wouldn't have had enough time for the defuse. So it's Super Valiant that pushed ahead once again. It's 7-6. Black Dragons starting to fall behind on their global risk side. It's 3 more rounds for Super Valiant now to close out and send us to that 3rd map on Mexico to potentially decide the series. Dalbao Q and the other is going to head through the back lanes over towards A. And it's looking like quite decisively as well. 2 players stacked on this. Norm. It's just been Dalbao Q, but they're going to run right in this time. Up the steps. Dalbao Q will get blinded out, though. Can't find good position to be able to knock anyone out. A 2-for-1 trade in the favor of Black Dragons is the way this will go. They will be able to spot the player diving down. And actually, 1 player dies to fall damage, it looks like, over on Super Valiant's side. So we end up in a 3 versus 2, even with Elegant's trade on a Danimal.
Very unfortunate indeed. Now Black Dragons with a good opportunity to tie this one up once again. Elegant and Dalbao, though, trying to stand in the way of that. And it looks like they may re-execute here onto the A bomb site, but the collapse is coming through very quickly. BD now all around them, but Elegant finds the opening here, taking down Vienna. ADRF and Will trying to hold on here for Black Dragons, but Elegant put in a tight spot. Will go down to ADRF. Dalbao now the 1v2. Huge importance here for him to win this round for SV to stay on top, and he finds the first. Will versus Dalbao now. For the fate of the round on the line. Will, though, huge HP advantage, but now Dalbao has the bomb in his hands to try and rotate out of here if he can find the way out.
We'll see. Is he going to try and chase this down, or is he going to play more passively? Looks like he is going for the chase in towards A long to try and spot out his last opponent here. Meanwhile, Q is aware that push might be happening, and as such is able to shut out the round. It's another one going by the way of Super Valiant Gaming. The biggest lead we've seen, I think, so far in this map, at least since the beginning of it now, at 8-6 in the favor of the Chinese squad, looking to equalize this series at 1-1.
The hope is there now. SV still with that opportunity to take this to map 3 on Mexico and potentially win it back here and still put themselves into the grand finals. But they have to be careful. Black Dragons, a team that was able to swing back there on sub base. Remember, they won 3 straight rounds to take regulation into overtime where they won in that golden round. So Black Dragons definitely not out of this one just yet either on map number 2. We're going to see how they respond here, though, as it looks like SV is going for a quick mid-control play here. And once again, N9 going to be leading that front.
And 9 has the lurk forward. Will, along with some of his other teammates, though, do have the lock-in just over towards that B site. In the event we see the mid-push happening, it's been a common theme. More so for Black Dragons when they were on attack, however. Super Valiant haven't used this type of a strat too often yet. They're aware, though, that someone's probably going to be lurking just on the inside of that window. So the flash goes in to isolate him. More importantly, to blind him out. Response shots are still coming out from Will. It's 18 looking to find that trade. And 9, though, has the initiative and will be able to pick up the kill. Didn't stop Will from doing decent damage, though, as he brought N9 about to half HP, and 18 lost the core as well. It's a nice shot from N9, though. Quickly knocks out ADRF from the inside of the site, and 18 finds another one. Black Dragons down to 2. And it's looking like SV have good control this round yet again.
And now it's all on Knotson here. A 1v5, surely not one to go his way. 18 takes him out. And just like that, it's 1 round away from SV taking this into a map 3 of the series and keeping the dream alive to move themselves on to that grand final. But right now, Black Dragons, could they do it once again here and tie it and take the map away in overtime? They need to do the exact same thing they did on sub base here, 3 rounds in a row, and then win it in OT. But right now, SV, you can see they're playing on a much higher level here in map number 2. Both Elegant and N9 have stepped it up here on their blacklist half to try and close this one out.
SV just a few more frags away that we're taking us to that 3rd and final map. The Black Dragons have to try and get a little bit more aggressive this time. It looks like they've got presence established over in the back lane to lead them out towards long. Oh no, they're going to get caught though. Q instantly clipping out Vienna the second he spots him. Very unfortunate timing for Vienna. ADRF doesn't end up in a much better situation either. He loses about half his HP, and Knotson too takes some heat before falling back to the site.
Here we have it, SV looking to take this one to map 3. They have a lot of good opportunity to make that happen here, and now ADRF on half, Vienna down and out as well. It could easily be a 10-6 game if they're able to close this out here, but Black Dragons, they're going to be playing pretty forward still. With ADRF in this position, he has to be careful. Anka already going to be lurking outside of B, but ADRF, he has more trouble coming his way. 3 players swing out onto him, and he's taken down. SV in a great position to now close out this round.
Will make a big play, moves in, finds 1, 2, and 3 pickups from Will before getting traded up by Elegant. He goes down, but the impact is made. They've evened out the round. Q will put it back into control for Super Valiant, though 1 more player stands between their way, but it's going to be Knotson. However, Elegant will shut it down, and we will see Super Valiant Gaming hold on and send this series the distance to a 3rd map on Mexico.
And this is truly the Super Valiant we love to see here. Their backs against the wall, but that is always when this team steps up and makes the big plays that they need to keep them alive in these events. And just like that, it's a complete reset, 1-1 as we go into map 3.
And after all of that is said and done, yes, we're heading across to Mexico as our decider in this first semi-final. The best of 3 going all the way. What a well. Super Valiant looked down and out just half an hour ago, and here they are at 10-6, a great score on a map that you, Kyle, said was going to be Black Dragon's best chance.
And I really thought it was here, and I'm actually a bit nervous for them going into Mexico now. You can see the momentum behind SV, and this is the grand finals team we expect out of SV all along, and this is where things come down to the wire. Black Dragons, I think they're going to have to play much better than what we saw on Encra if they want any hopes of bringing the series back into their hands.
All week long, we have been talking about Super Valiant Gaming and how, for whatever reason it may be, they seem to leave it to the last minute, Blue. They leave it to their last chance, their last shot, and then they go, oh, now's the time to win, and maybe that's just where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden, everybody waking up towards the end of it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Black Dragons, only a few players stepping out individually in that one. Noxon having himself an amazing clutch, but besides that, no one that we can call out remarkably having a great performance on that map from the side of Black Dragons. They're really going to have to kick up the heat going on to our final map, but they still want to come out of this series on top.
Yeah, talk to me about Mexico, Kyle. What do you expect to see here? Is this a map that's going to favor Super Valiant or a map that's going to favor the Brazilians?
I think SV has a lot of advantages going into this map. I think the aggression they like to take is very suited to playing on Mexico because they can just get in the faces of Black Dragons right from the start and take really aggressive plays because there's no really long angles in this map for Black Dragons to try and shut them down on.
What are your feelings, Blue? Is this a situation that Black Dragons can bring it back from, or have we seen the Super Valiant finally turn up?
I think that Black Dragons can bring it back. It's just going to be getting better control of their Blacklist side. For some reason, they were really, they really had a lock on for trying to go for these incredibly fast-paced plays, and they never really had a good enough capability to control those fast-paced plays. They would find appropriate trades. They would oftentimes get to the site, but at the end of the day, they were still losing too many players. And in a clutch situation for that last map, Super Valiant was still the team that would win in almost every single situation. So they need to try and just play a much more slow and controlled game, and I think they'll come out on top of a lot more rounds.
Yeah, I certainly would like to see this last map go all the way down to the wire again. I'd pay for an overtime, that's for sure, because it was so exciting the first time around. Golden round potentially here on Mexico would be the dream, I think, Kyle. Who are we looking at in this Black Dragon lineup? We have a look at N9 there, coming out with 20 and 12. 9 headshots as well, almost a 50% headshot rate. That's pretty impressive. We'll come back to the Black Dragons in a second. Any other standouts here other than N9?
I think Elegant really stepped up as well in the second half of this map. We hadn't seen anything too amazing from him so far in this series, but he really helped along with N9 to close out the second map.
Well, guys and girls, it's time for a very quick break. We're going to let the players take a short rest before we get back into the action. One map remains. It's going to be Mexico, and we will be back right after this.
December 2018, CROSSFIRE Stars begins a new fight. CFS 2018 will gather 24 top teams from 11 regions around the world in Taitung and Nanjing, China for Project S. December 4th to 6th, the group stage matches, the tournament stage quarterfinals, and semifinals will take place in Taitung. December the 8th, event matches for CROSSFIRE HD featuring top teams will be awaiting in Nanjing. December the 9th, the CROSSFIRE Legends tournament along with the CROSSFIRE final matches will determine the CFS 2018 World Champions. Guns are locked and loaded, and players are ready for an intense clash. CROSSFIRE Stars 2018, together in Taitung and Nanjing, China. Together, roaring with enthusiasm inside the arena of battle. Together, making history to become the true legend of CROSSFIRE.
Hello and welcome back. It is our deciding map. We are heading to Mexico in this first semi-final. Black Dragons up against Super Valiant Gaming, the team from China. The last hope here for the Chinese fans, whilst Brazil have two teams in the semi-finals. Kyle, this is a pretty incredible day for Brazilian CROSSFIRE fans. And Black Dragons one map away. I get the hint though, I get the feeling that Mexico, this might be a little bit tough for them.
Yeah, I think this map definitely favors SV looking at it, but again, throughout this event, we've underestimated what these Brazilian teams can do under pressure, so I wouldn't count them out just yet either.
What are your feelings, Blue? It's going to be a tough one for sure.
It's going to be a tough one, unfortunately. Like I said before, I think due to the limited execute options, especially on your attacking side, it's going to rely a lot on individual prowess in order to get these guys into sites and, more importantly, pick up rounds on their Blacklist side. And in that last map, we really didn't see that coming out from a lot of the players on Black Dragons. We really didn't see a whole lot of impact being made, besides really from Will and Notson.
Yeah.
Everyone else had a pretty poor showing in that last map, so we're going to hope that they can rally together for this final engagement.
Whilst for Super Valiant, it was pretty good across the board, particularly N9 and WQ. As I suppose to the surprise of absolutely no one, every time we see Super Valiant come on top, it's behind those two players. But again, it's a team of all-stars, isn't it, Kyle? So if anyone pops off, it's going to make life tough.
Yeah, definitely. And looking at how this map is really structured too, I think everyone on SV is going to be successful on it, because the biggest thing we've seen is the struggle that we've seen out of Black Dragons on their executions. And as we saw earlier with Carbon, you can have one bad half determine the whole game on Mexico.
Yeah, very much so. It really got out of hand for Carbon before, didn't it? All of a sudden, they were so far behind, and just too little too late, I suppose, when they tried to catch up. It was just a very tough situation for them. Do you think it's going to be important to see a Chinese team in the final, Blue? The fans, surely they want to come to Nanjing Stadium and have a team to cheer for.
Yeah, it's going to be a disappointing run indeed if we don't end up seeing one to make it to the grand finals. So they're fighting for a whole lot more than just obviously a spot in the grand finals. They're fighting to survive for their nation here at this point, in their region as well.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, I think, on Super Valiant right now. When was the last time we didn't have a Chinese final? Have we ever had such a situation?
Only in other international tournaments for CROSSFIRE. Never in CFS history, though, has there been a non-Chinese final.
That would be an incredibly big deal, I think, in this situation. And I think it would be quite a big statement for the foreign teams and international CROSSFIRE in general to say, hey, these foreign teams are actually, you can't mess with them anymore, because if you're not careful, they'll eliminate you from the tournament.
Yeah, definitely. And not only that, it could be a historical final and an all-Brazilian final at that, which would be insane, because neither one of these teams have historically even made it into the top four quite often, let alone both teams in the grand finals. To me, that would just be an insane way for this to end.
It just, going back to our results, right? The fact that the first game went 13-12, that's incredible. And I just hope for Black Dragon's sake, as we head into Mexico here, as we head into the decider, that they've taken that break, they put this aside, they're coming in fresh again. One more map, that's all that stands in the way of one of these teams, and at least 200,000 USD and a shot at CFS 2018 CROSSFIRE Grand Finals.
All right, well, it's come down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Black Dragons stealing away the first map, which seemed to be going the way of Super Valiant, but then they do the same exact thing on map 2 for Ankara. It's down to Mexico to decide who will be moving forward into the grand finals this weekend, and unfortunately, who will have to play in that 3rd and 4th place match will be excluded from the lion's share of the prize pool up for grabs here at CFS 2018.
Very interesting as well to see BD starting on that global risk defensive side that has been so dominant for most of these teams that have played Mexico so far. So SV really has to show us a confident first half to start off this final map if they really want to take it away from the Black Dragons and take themselves into that finals. But right now, SV looking to make an explosive start here. 4 players already working their way out of water. Will, though, the player to step up for BD. Will he hold it once again? Gets the double kill. Finally, Dabaku shuts him down, and Elegant finds a frag onto Vienna, but Natsen is there to find the trade, but still, it's going to be a 2-on-2 situation as the bomb is picked up, but just around the corner, it is going to be Natsen waiting in the shadows, finds one, and it's already down to Elegant versus Danimal for the opening round here. Elegant sneaks in, grabs the bomb, but Danimal already going to be hunting for him here. The bomb not going to go down just yet. Elegant going to take the safe plant approach here, but Danimal already looking for him on the retake.
Incredibly closely traded affair. We'll go to the clutch cam now to see who will come out on top of this one, as it is going to fall these 2 players to decide who will come out on top of the victory. Super Valiant looking to establish a strong start on Mexico, especially on their attacking side, and the Black Dragons looking to deny it. Danimal will move in, looking to find this finalizing frag. They'll be battling amongst the ammo cases here. No one can seem to get it, but at the end of the day, it is going to be Black Dragons that pick up the opening round and push ahead early on with a 1-0 lead.
And you can see the emotion behind winning that opening round for Black Dragons. They have the confidence they were looking for to start off this final map on the right foot. And now SV, they're already going to be fighting from behind here to start off this map. And as we've seen, the momentum so important for the defensive sides on this map that SV have to be careful not to let these rounds string together for Black Dragons.
Dragons, in the meanwhile, we are going to be seeing their players split up in the early portions of the round. Got a bit of an aggressive push coming out from them towards mid to try and stop SV from being able to establish any control. We'll see in a few moments just how successful this will be in isolating any type of early pressure. Got grenades ready to be chucked out here at a moment's notice too. As Black Dragons do want to seem to try and crush the Super Valiant push at mid once again.
A nice little setup here for Black Dragons in mid as well. ADRF just playing the bait and switch here over in the shadow area. Right now, though, we do see SV looking to take control here of mid very quickly. Smoke screens coming out, but they're actually going to be trying to sneak their way here, potentially over towards this A bomb site. 3 players already pushing up the alleyway, and now it's all about this A bomb site hold here. They need to be careful. BD not ready for it. Danimal gets caught. The nades right into his face. Danimal trying to hold on. Not going to happen, though. Anka takes him down, and it's already a 5v4. Will finds the exchange, though. Dabaku goes down. SV not holding on nicely, though. Will finds another one, and it's down to a 4-on-3. N9, Elegant, and 18 trying to hold on, but 18 on the flank. Already finds one. Looks for the double kill. Takes down yet another, but it's ADRF to try and shut things down here. SV is going to be all reliant on Elegant now. The 1v2, ADRF and Vienna. All they have to do is set up perfectly to cross it out, and it's going to be Vienna who swings out, and BD find another round. And look at the emotion here. Black Dragons can feel the dream closer and closer to being reality.
Every round is so close as it comes down to a 1vx seemingly so far in both of these situations. And with Black Dragons now in control, it's certainly going to be hurting momentum for Super Valiant. But at the same time, remember, it's relatively defender-sided map, and for Super Valiant, coming this close 2 times in a row certainly can't bode well if we do end up seeing that defensive side be much stronger when we switch sides. However, if Black Dragons get off to a swimming start and end up with a dominant scoreline, that won't end up mattering too much regardless. Slow play at the beginning again from Super Valiant as they hold mid, along with the initial push into the alleyway. And it'll be relatively the same opener that we've seen in the previous 2 rounds, with Black Dragons looking to control towards Shadow and deny any early push into mid.
And so far, the biggest thing Black Dragons is doing really well is shutting down N9 from being that entry fragging machine that he was in the previous map. If they continue to put that pressure onto N9, it's going to be left to the rest of SV to open up these rounds where they haven't been near as successful as he has in finding these openings. But again, they're going to send 3 up alley, the same strat we saw in the previous round. This time, though, we'll see if there's any adjustments made on the retake.
N9 Ready to go for the push up from Ali with the rest of his team following close behind. Nades moving in to try and destroy someone, but it won't work out. No connections made, and Danimal, beautiful work to hold on his own here. Davao Q will be able to move in for a trade, but it's not going to matter. ADRF and Knutson finish off the round, and they're continuing to show that emotion as Black Dragons shut down SV for the first time, as they barely are able to get any frags onto the board.
And once again, we see how strong this half can truly be on the defensive side of Mexico. When you have trouble finding the openings, it can just feel like round after round stacking against you. But Black Dragons, they want to ride this swing of momentum through to as many rounds together as possible before they give one up, putting SV in a high-pressure situation for the rest of this map. But keep in mind, with it being so defensively sided, SV still only really need 2 or 3 rounds in this half to have a chance at a comeback on a defensive half of their own.
Slow play is the name of the game once again for Super Valiant Gaming. Got their players held just outside of mid, ready to move in at a moment's notice should the need arise, but Black Dragons are here to fend that off. It seems like, though, the problem is Super Valiant don't want to go up against that hold in mid. They've tried it in one round. It's failed outright. They came out the losing end of the trade. They've tried to push alleyway. Same problem. They were completely shut down by Black Dragons just on that last round.
SV so hesitant here to try and take mid control, but rightfully so. Black Dragons continuously shutting them down time and time again. They haven't had a single success in this half so far, and they're going to be sending Anka in this time around. A nice switch up. We'll see if it pays off here. Looking to swing out into mid, though they need to be careful. 3 players of Black Dragons, they are all ready to collapse into this position. Anka gets the opener, though, but Knutson, he's here to trade, grabs the double kill here. Will gets another. Anka down to just a sliver of health. It's not looking too good here for SV once again. Anka and Dabaku, the last hope, but Dabaku on the flank already takes down Will. He needs to do more, though, in this situation to try and keep it in control for SV, but Knutson goes for the wide swing and takes him down. Anka, 1 HP and a dream here to try and somehow find this 1v2 without going to take any damage is going to be incredibly difficult.
Try to swing himself with the smoke onto A, but he's immediately spotted and knocked out. Black Dragons again shut it down, and so far continue to show more and more definitive wins as we continue to follow through on this half. It's 4-0 for Black Dragons. Super Valiant yet to get around onto the board and still continue to play with the same pacing as well. They are going to split their players up a little bit more this time, but the overarching theme for their attack is still the same. Posture up for mid control, run down the clock, see if you can force your way in. And unfortunately, we haven't really seen them get much further than that just yet, as Black Dragons have shut them down at that point.
And this is the situation that SV have not had to deal with in this entire event so far, and that is N9 being completely silent. Going into this map, he had 42 frags in the overall series so far, but he's yet to find one here on Mexico. Meanwhile, Black Dragons, though, have abused them time and time again with their mid-control plays, and SV, they have no entry points onto these bomb sites. SV, though, time is ticking here. They need to find an opening to get themselves back into this match quickly before it's too late. And Elegant may have just found them that here as Vienna goes down.
First good start for Super Valiant Gaming. Now they need to chain it into an actual execute. That's been the problem, is transferring these opening kills onto site takes. And that was what we were talking about. Would be a worry for both of these teams going on to this map due to the limited execute options. Time continuing to go lower. ADRF, though, moving in on the bridge, finding himself a double kill pickup to knock out N9, and Elegant brings it over to Anke, 18 and Davao Q to bring it back for Super Valiant, as Black Dragons are just going to fall back and hold on to the site now.
SV once again in a difficult spot here, looking like a potential 5-0 start for the Black Dragons if they close this one out. But don't sell them short just yet. Dabaku, deadly in these clutch situations here for SV. Black Dragons, though, going to be putting a lot of players in between the 2 bomb sites rather than playing directly on them. The only player directly on A is ADRF, and he's very low on HP. SV, though, still yet to find the opening they've been hoping for here in this round. They are going to send Anka here, scouting out over towards the B archway. Meanwhile, 18 looking for this pick over towards the A bomb site. Has to be careful. 2 players sort of lurking in the shadows here or there, but Knutson takes down the first. It's down to Anka and Dabaku to try and hold on to this round, but BD looking for the 5-0 dream here to start off this map. Anka finds one, looking for the second here, has to back off. Dabaku finds himself another. Dabaku finds the double kill. It's all on Danimal, the 1v2 from the back of the forklift. He has one. Can he get the second, though? Anka is solo. Danimal looking for a huge 1v2 here. Can he find it, though? Danimal, he's gonna fall to the nade. Anka, perfect timing there, gets the nade kill, and finally SV are on the board.
Came down to the wire, but indeed, SV will close out at the end of the day. However, a lot more work to be done to get them back into this game 1-4. Black Dragons have to suffer that loss. Hopefully it doesn't get in their way too much, though, as they've still been, for the most part, dominating these defensive-sided rounds. And Super Valiant really struggling to get themselves onto the board, have finally found it through the efforts of Q and the others on the team. Brute forcing that A take. It does work out, and they're able to just barely trade enough to bring it down into a 1v1, where the closeout is found from Super Valiant.
And 9 here still looking for that first frag of the map for himself as well. If he could step up here, it could be a whole new game for the side of Super Valiant, but right now, the rest of his team needs to carry the weight on their shoulders to try and keep this match within their reach. Will, though, getting put to the test here once again. Last time from this position, he was just one and done. We'll see if he can do more this time around. Not even going to happen, though. N9, he's come to life, and this is what they've been worried of on the side of BD. Now full control of the B-bomb site in the hands of SV, but Vienna already finds one onto N9. Elegant, though, looking for the trade, takes down Vienna. Things still looking good for SV on the post-plant situation, but the bomb is yet to be planted yet. ADRF finds one on the retake, but Knotson, he's trying to sneak his way in here. Misses a couple shots, but it's going to be 18 finding ADRF, and it's a 3-on-2 situation. 18 and Elegant, though, very low. BD still in good position to try and retake this one. Danimal working his way around quickly as well, but Knotson has to make the key impact here from the back of sight. Danimal finds one on the front, though. Takes down Elegant, 18 low. It's all onto Anka to make sure this holds to be true for SV, but it's not going to happen. They completely retake it, 2v3, and Black Dragons again robs SV of a round. And look at the devastation.
Black Dragons continue to impress, and Super Valiant can't figure out what's going on here. A full-on retake, and outnumbered one at that. It continues to put the Brazilians ahead. Now it's 6-1 in their favor, continuing to dominate. Excuse me, I think it's 5-1 in their favor as they continue to dominate against the SV roster.
And that was the most devastated I've seen SV after losing a round so far in this series, and you can tell the emotions are starting to take effect here. SV maybe nearing the end of the road, but Black Dragons, the confidence, you can hear them screaming every round they put on the board. They know is just one step closer to the finish line and putting themselves into the grand finals. Halfway there on map number 3 now as they lead it 5-1. And look at the fearlessness, just pushing out into mid, but 18 will punish ADRF for getting a little too aggressive here, but Elegant, does he know Notzin has snuck into this corner position just on their side of the alleyway?
They seem to be aware that someone's definitely snuck through into the alley. Regardless, though, BD is going to be able to get a lot more map control as a result of this, pushing SV back into a corner. They do have to be careful not to overextend it, but I think they've stopped it here. They're not going to continue to push into the SV spawn, so obviously that would prove incredibly dangerous. Problem for the guys on Black Dragons, though, is that they do leave mid directly open for the take, and they're now going to try to isolate out Knotson, taking him down, but oh, he's got a great position just behind the door. And SV don't seem to realize that he's taken this spot just as of yet. They might actually go directly past him, but no, the corner check will come in, and Elegant takes him out, dealing with the threat for now, and most importantly, keeping SV in control on a 5v3.
And now Black Dragons looking a bit of a difficult situation in the face right now, but Danimal is going to take it head on, takes down N9 again, continuing to have some struggles here on map number 3. Elegant, though, about to run into trouble as well. Danimal backs off, though, rightfully so, waiting for the support of his teammates here and just trying to stall for the push. Right now, though, Black Dragons, this would be such a big round to take back into their control. It started as a 3-on-5 against them, but now the potential if they take down Elegant, who is very low on HP, to quickly make this one a 3-on-3.
SV are going to work their way up the steps now. Work over into the A site. They'll work their way out from the alley. 3 out of 4 of their remaining players. The fourth not far behind either. He should be joining. That should be a good flash. Oh, it'll connect, but it's not going to matter. Elegant knocks out the player who tossed it. Brings BD down to only 2 remaining, with one player potentially getting in the way. And we can see him there, Dabo Q in mid. They'll try to block off Will and any of the others that would try to move in through the big doors. And into the site with a defusal. Dabo Q with a direct push out. It destroys Vienna. It's all on Will. He's taking far too much heat from this fight. Only picks up 1 trade. And Super Valiant Gaming do win out the round. Besides that, the aggressive play from Black Dragons, unfortunately, coming back to bite them, as it'll give Super Valiant Gaming their second round.
Right now, SV, they're just 1 round away from making this a fairly standard end to the opening half here, but Black Dragons, if they can make it a 7-2, still a very respectable one to take it away from SV. It's going to be coming down to, I think, Vienna, who's had a lot of struggles since map number 2. Map 1, he was such a key factor there for the success of Black Dragons on sub-base, but since he has been a bit silent here on the defensive halves for Black Dragons, but still, they've already secured the half, but they need at least 6 rounds here to feel a bit more comfortable before they go into that second half. Meanwhile, though, N9 still only on 1 frag, but Elegant and Dabaqu have stepped up big time here on map number 3.
That's exactly what we needed to see. Those big players, those star players from Super Valiant, to be able to control this matchup and, more importantly, push Super Valiant forward on into the grand finals yet again. It's going to be slow opener as they continue to play in for Ali and mid control on Super Valiant's side. No direct control established earlier on. Black Dragons doing a good job of posturing up without over-aggressing in their own regard to give away any kills here.
SV looking very nervous here in this round. They don't want to get caught in mid once again. They had a lot of struggles earlier on in the half with getting any sort of presence to control this mid position, but right now, Black Dragons, they're going to be playing it pretty much the same as they have throughout, just having the two players playing on shadow side. Meanwhile, they have the support of Vienna playing on A ramp and throwing that smoke screen there for them. But right now, counter flash and the counter nades are going to come out. They're trying to take this control, but SV, they're so hesitant to push through this opening. They know Black Dragons likes to run this 3-stack here, and they seem very hesitant. The counter flash, though, comes out immediately, but Notson grabs the double kill. Big way to hold this one off. Will takes down Dabaku, and it's already a 5-on-2. Elegant and Anka have to try and clean things up quickly, but it's looking like it may be over for SV in this round. The last hope, Elegant goes down. ADRF with a 2-piece to finish them off, and just like that, Black Dragons finds the momentum on their side once again.
Guaranteeing at least a 6-3 at halftime now, and with this last round starting, the potential to push it up to 7-2. Let's see if they'll be able to do it. Super Valiant Gaming certainly going to have to start sweating here soon as the Black Dragons retake control with a solid hold against the mid play from Super Valiant in that last round.
SV, though, the end could be near here. They need this final round of the half to try and be able to claw it back here on their global risk side. Keep in mind, it is still a very defensive-sided map, but a 7-2, still a very unlikely situation to try and pull yourself back out of. But SV, they could take the last round here. N9, the one needing to step up to the plate for the side of Super Valiant Gaming. He's been such a key player up until this point, but on Mexico, he's been almost completely silent here, sitting at 1-8 now in our final round of the first half here. SV, though, still playing so scared in the back of mid. They're fearful of taking control here, but look at Black Dragons. They're going to drain this clock even more. They've pulled out of mid on the round, and now they're going to force even more pressure onto these side executions.
Even if we do see mid play come out from Super Valiant Gaming, it's just going to end up being a wasted utility, meaning they're not going to be able to find any initial impact against Black Dragon's roster, and most importantly, we'll be lacking that utility for when the site take actually happens. Super Valiant, though, don't bite into it. They're going to fall back closer to their spawn and potentially look at a route towards water to lean in towards a mid to B.
Black Dragons, though, set up pretty nicely to try and hold this one off, but again, will be that person to try and stop this push as it comes out. 4 players in water, but Will, he seems eager to try and challenge this one here. Will he be ready, though, for them already pushed up? Will has to be ready to check this corner. Elegant spots him. Here comes the counter flashes, though. 9 finds the opener here, looks for more, but Will, he's still holding on to this one. Finds himself one, looking for more. Does a lot of damage, but only 1 kill in the process. Vienna able to trade out with a kill on Anka, but Dabaku keeps it alive for SV in the round. 3-on-2 now. Notson down to 20 HP, but Danimal still alive on full HP as the bomb will be planted here. 18 going to be spotted by Danimal behind the boxes here outside of water, but it's not going to connect. No shots hitting, and Danimal taken down to just 2 HP. Notson on the flank from Elegant is taken down, and Dabaku cleans things up nicely. SV pieced together that final round, and definitely one they needed in this situation.
Finally, a bit of an adjustment coming in from Super Valiant as well. Really threw their heads to the wall with that mid and alley play that we had been seeing a lot of teams exercise towards. Just hadn't been working for them, though, due to the well-exercised defense setup from Black Dragons sitting on the inside of mid. This time, they throw them a curveball. They finally make a decisive push through water and are able to successfully trade out to put a 3rd round onto the board. Black Dragons still in the lead. Maybe not with enough rounds to close out so easily in the second half. Still needing 4 on their attacking side in order to take control of the map and, most importantly, the series to knock out the last Chinese team and make the grand finals for the first time ever in CFS history. It's finals without a Chinese team.
Either way, looking at a historical close to this game, it will either be SV making it into the grand finals for a 3rd year in a row, or for the first time a non-Chinese final altogether here. But it's going to come down to SV on their defensive half to make that decision here. 18 gets the opening kill, takes down ADRF, and it's already an early 5-on-4. SV looking confident to start off their defensive half. ADRF taken out of the picture, but now Black Dragons, they're going to slow down the pace, looking for an opening of their own here, but they can't seem to find anything just yet. they're going to back off and look for a potential reset and re-execution.
Danimal's going to try to work his way back now, take up position just on the outside of alley with the rest of his team here, as they're grouped up in a very similar way that we were seeing SV utilize in the previous rounds. Let's focus on mid. It's not just that, though. We can see Vienna trying to work out over into mid on his own regard here, and he does find a little bit of impact leading into that B site, since, as you can see, there's zero presence established here from Super Valiant. They are going to let, for the most part, Vienna walk directly in, take this control. Unfortunately, they have lost one of their teammates earlier on, so they also have to try and hunt for a way to battle back into this round, since they're working from a 4v5 disadvantage.
A big 3-stack on the A bomb site, though, and it looks like Black Dragons may just run right into this trap that SV have set before them. They have to be careful here. Anka, N9, and Elegant all on this A bomb site. There's nobody playing really for that water control, but Black Dragons, they have no one there, so there's really no worries here for SV. They have the perfect positioning to try and hold this bomb site. It's going to be all firepower needed for Black Dragons to take control of this one, but it's not looking too likely. N9 finds the opening, but Vienna comes through with will. They trade back, but Elegant still on site, able to get one before going down, but it's down to a 2-on-1 now for Vienna as Anka drops the bomb carrier, but WQ cleans things up, and SV open the half with a victory of their own.
They get off to a banging start, and a loud one at that, as you can hear in the background. Super Valiant going to be able to push themselves forward into a quick 4th round, and the potential to now tie this up if they can continue that rampage straight up to 6. It's more of an active hold at mid this time that we're going to see from Super Valiant 18, along with N9 taking positions in mid. Try and hold off the push. And N9, as we can see, getting himself off to a fragging start a lot more early on, as we had a team ace in the last round actually from Super Valiant Gaming, everyone contributing. And N9 now going to take the initiative to hold off against a mid push should we see it from Black Dragons.
And this is where Black Dragons have to be careful. They do not want SV to start stringing rounds together, because when SV gets the momentum on their side, we've seen what they can do with it, as they did on Ankara. So it's really a situation where we have got to see a full step up from Black Dragons and have much cleaner executions on this map if they really want to make it into that grand finals position here, with a chance at taking home that grand prize. Right now, though, SV, a lot of resources over towards the A bomb site. Once again, Black Dragons running into this trap could spell to be difficult here. The potential shutdown looking for SV once again.
It's going to be Black Dragons trying to move up through the alleyway, and it's going to be a decisive push for them. 4 players in position. A lot of nades being busted out. No follow-up on the push just yet. And Vienna, the only one to take an alternate angle, he's going to have to deal with at least 2 players in mid. Nice push out from Anke, gets himself the opening kill, but he's not going to be able to hold on. He goes down. Notson picking up more kills, but at the end of the day, Super Valiant holding on strong. It's down to Danimal. He'll also fall. Super Valiant pick up another round, and they've got that momentum swing moving into their favor now.
And that's what 3 rounds on that blacklist half can do for you. Once you get that momentum on your global risk half, it is so hard to get shut down. And SV, they're already 1 away from a tie here in what started off as a 5-1 game in favor of Black Dragons. It's gone completely full circle here and could end up in a tie once again. This series, though, seeing a lot of ties on that scoreboard here overall. But right now, SV needs this one to keep the momentum on their side. Black Dragons, though, yet to find an execution to go their way, but they need to do so quickly. SV, not a team that loses momentum lightly.
For Danimal and the rest of Black Dragons, it's the same setup we've seen before. A stack to the outside of the alleyway and inside of that B site leading into mid. They're going to throw their push in. No resistance this time from Super Valiant. The utility used is going to be wasted for the most part. Super Valiant don't really have any presence here to hold off against Black Dragons. Now that'll leave Black Dragons with a whole lot less to use when it's time for them to get up to the site.
Look here, though, WQ on the flank already, and this is something SV are notorious for. When they make the enemy team feel a little bit too comfortable, they like to go for these flanks and catch them off guard. But Vienna, a bit vigilant here, checking his back, but not soon enough. WQ now sneaking behind, and this is the opportunity for such a big play, but Vienna checks it just in time, takes down WQ, and that is a big time to turn around and check for Vienna, and now Black Dragons have the man advantage for the execution.
Need to actually follow through on that execute. Will, of course, taking about half of his HP away in the process, but still be in good shape to continue fighting for the next engagement. Super Valiant, in the meanwhile, still with an even split of their players, 2-2 across the site, since they don't know exactly where Black Dragons are going to try to go for their execute. And Black Dragons don't really seem to know just yet either. They're continuing to run down the clock, hoping there's another aggressive move from Super Valiant, but we're not going to see that. It's time to execute, gentlemen. Time to get towards the site, so let's get on with it. They're going to be in position. Still in mid, waiting this down. 30 seconds left. What are they waiting for? We need to see them get towards this site a lot sooner. Here we go. Finally seeing them move out, and it's a good start to the execute as well. ADRF and Danimal knocking out both the natural defenders on that B bomb site. Rotates around the way from N9 and Anke, but it might not be enough to make the difference as they're now locked into a 2 versus 5.
It's a quick shutdown there as well. Will and Danimal find the way into this one quickly for Black Dragons, and that's a big first round of the half on the board for Black Dragons, keeping them on top 7-5, and now they are just 3 rounds away from getting themselves into the finals here. SV now fighting for their life each and every round here.
ADRF gonna be waiting to see if we see Super Valiant get aggressive. Won't probably be the case though, besides the 2-man hold by Shadow. Don't have a whole lot in terms of postured up aggression coming in on this round from Super Valiant. They're continuing to hold back in the wait for Black Dragons to make the first move as they've already chucked out a couple of their nades.
SV, though, playing much more forward in this round, deciding not to give up too much mid control. They've got 2 players here and some quick support nearby as well. SV wanting to make a little bit more of a forward aggressive play here in this round and show that they can hold off what Black Dragons is throwing their way in mid. Meanwhile, though, Black Dragons a bit hesitant on their own execution here into taking control of mid, but rightfully so. SV have smoked this one off, and they want to try and drain down the clock and wait out these smoke grenades so they don't push through mistakenly so.
It's going to be Anke waiting over here behind the big box in mid for the push to come out from Black Dragons. They seem to be a little bit too held back in terms of the way they want to execute this, but they will finally jump in. Catches both the players from Super Valiant off guard as well. N9, the only one that can even get close to a trade there. But even he's brought down low. Q makes the play into mid from the B site. It's only a 1-for-1 yet again. We're down to just 2 players left standing for Super Valiant. It's N9 and Elegant. And we're going to make moves over towards the B bomb site. Elegant through the back corridor. Try and put him in a good position to defend against this. They're already set up, though. Will quickly makes work of Elegant to take him out. And N9 is now in a 1v3 with only 36 HP to play off of.
And 9 looking for a miracle here for the side of SV. Spots one player through the ammo stacks, but cannot finish the kill here. And he's going to be taken down by Will. 8 rounds now on the board for Black Dragons. But something to point out there that was so key in that round, Black Dragons, they threw a ground flash. Both mid players look up and away, and just as they look up and away, there's a flash in their face from the opposite side of the map. I love that play from Black Dragons, and clearly putting themselves now in a great position to potentially close out this final map.
Bright strategy coming out from the Black Dragons. They're only 2 more rounds away from doing it, for making CROSSFIRE history here at CFS 2018 and eliminating the last Chinese team in the event to make the final. The Chinese-less final for the first time in CFS history. We'll have to see if they can do it. They postured up again in mid to try and make a quick play here. They're moving forward with that play a lot faster than we've seen in previous rounds too. Using smokes primarily to guide their push. They'll be able to move in. And already set up positions to swing over towards B, which I think is going to be the game plan for them. They got to watch out. Q sits around the corner behind the small wall. Diana tries to take a fight against him, but will quickly move back towards mid, grouping up with the rest of BD.
Now the Black Dragons look to put this one on match point if they can make that happen for themselves, but SV still some fight left in them to try and keep this one alive and move themselves on to a potential tie situation. They could still take it in regulation 10-8, but it's not looking too likely considering how this one's played out so far. Black Dragons, though, pretty hesitant here in mid, looking for an opening to execute in here, but they seem a little bit unsure of themselves so far.
That uncertainty can often be throws away seeming victories like this for the Black Dragons. They have to be careful not to lose their edge here now. The momentum swing back into SV's favor could potentially allow for them to come back and take this all the way to 10 rounds or overtime. Again, is certainly going to be an option too. Elegant waiting for the push to come in. Not a lot to be spotted through that smoke, though. He won't have vision until they're very close. Q behind the small wall, though, is doing a lot better. Elegant finally picking up a Q. Q finds himself another one. Anke finding one of the final frags. It's a complete shutdown, something we have not seen in a long time from Super Valiant, but something that they very much needed to get back into this game.
It is still going to be Black Dragons up by 2 here, but mistakes starting to be made. And this is where the pressure can really show on both of these teams. And we'll see who can pull out on top of it under this pressure. But right now, BD still in the favorable position here, but being on that attacking side, they have to have everything go their way to really fight their way through these initial choke points. Right now, Notston not having the best of halves, but Will being the one who's usually stepping up and getting these entry frags for his team. He's continued that forward here so far on Mexico, but SV, they need to make some minor adjustments here, and as we can see, they've done just that, not playing for mid control. They knew it wasn't working out the best for them, and they're going to be playing mainly for control of water and A in this round.
Well, the Black Dragons set up again to execute. They seemed unsure of it in the previous round, though, and that unfortunately came back to bite them when they finally pushed onto the site. Were ripped apart by quite a few of the players on Super Valiant that were hanging out by the half wall around the corner from this push towards B. They're just unable to keep the numbers up, and they finally pushed it over towards the B site. We're seeing a very similar setup happening again from them here, so Black Dragons going to try a very risky second attempt at this play, and we'll have to see if it'll work out. Flash is going out over the wall. Attempt at a possible execute, but again, they're too timid to commit to it. Smoke will be used on that half wall to isolate pressure, but this is going to leave Elegant open for a push of his own. He will get immediately traded out as ADRF finds the pickup. It's going back and forth both ways, but favored towards SV now. Notson brought down incredibly low, but he's unable to find impact, unable to take out any of these three players. Danimal on the lurk, though. Same problem for him. Can't cut anyone out. He's getting too aggressive now, making the push forward, but he is able to successfully fall back to the site. Meanwhile, no lurk through the back corridor yet to try and come on the backside against these BD players, but they do get the plant onto the ground. Anke and one more. Now moving through those corridors. Danimal going to move in to cut them all. Finds one. Can't put the second one together just yet, but he is ready for the fight. Meanwhile, his teammate cuts off 18. It's down to just Anke now, but he has both Danimal and Notson incredibly low. This is winnable for Anke, but he needs to get into the site quickly. Time is ticking down incredibly fast, but he'll be shut out. A two-man push, and the Black Dragons push it up to match point now. One more round, and they will eliminate the last Chinese team from the event.
Just one round separates BD from making history here and knocking SV out here in the semifinals, leaving us with two non-Chinese teams to go to the grand finals this year. Can they do it, though? SV looking to claw back here and risk it all to take it into overtime. But right now, BD have their eyes set on the prize here, and they're going to be doing a full A execution. A big risk here, but it could be just the risk they need to make this dream a reality here. Looking to do the unthinkable here. They're going straight into the A bomb site. It's going to be just Anke here playing with a small support position here from N9, but 18 finds the opening pick already. They've spotted this a little bit too early. BD runs in anyways, though. Notson finds one, but it's been completely shut down by 18, who finds two more kills. Notson and Vienna now fighting for survival and a chance to take this one all the way.
Notson going to be leading the charge for now. Vienna more watching as a back flank at this point. Remember, though, still a few more chances for BD to shut this down. We saw SV, if you remember, back on subbase in this same exact position as this before, but with the C4 down, BD have to recommit themselves over to this site. They don't have the capability of trying to go for a B rotate. They have to jump back in. Now, whether SV knows this or not is still up in the air, as they've got one more player sitting on that B site where he'll rotate anyway. Vienna checking every option that's available to him. He does spot Elegant hiding behind the ammo cases on the B site itself. Just can't find a good enough connection, though, so he's going to be forced away from it. Vienna, as well, potentially going to get pinched out by 18 if he's not careful, as time is continuing to get lower and lower. Black Dragons just can't find the option needed to get them into the site. Elegant, though, misses one opportunity to pick up a kill, but Dalmau Q will hold strong when Vienna makes the push over towards the actual site. It's up to Notson now to try and close this out in a 1v4 situation. And unfortunately, he's just left with very few options to make this work. Under 40 seconds now for him to go for the clutch, and he's going to go back to the scene of the crime from the start of this round here, over towards the exit of the alleyway to try and push himself back in and attempt to get access to this site. Wild spam coming out to try and wallbang his opponent, but it's not going to work out. He's forced away, and unfortunately, I don't believe he was even able to retrieve the C4 either, so it's still sitting on the ground in A site.
20 seconds, surely not a round to go his way at this point. Notson would need nothing short of a miracle to close the match now, but there's still going to be two more opportunities to do it, and Dalmau shuts things down. SV pick up the round, and they're still two away from a tie here. We do not want to count them out. This is a team who has shown us time and time again, when we count them out, they strike right back and somehow find a way to win these games. BD, 2 chances to win it, but SV, 2 chances to keep it alive and take us to overtime.
At minimum momentum breaker, to be sure, from SV in that previous round in order to keep them in the fight. And more importantly, start that run of 3 rounds needed. The same thing that Black Dragons had to accomplish in order to take it to overtime on subbase. Elegant pinhole angle here to try and catch some of the pressure moving in towards mid from Black Dragon should they try to go for a more standardized play again. They haven't committed themselves to that, so Elegant will pull away. Careful, players like Notson to try and push his angle from another position in the event that he's forced out.
Right now, though, Black Dragons looking to take mid-control here. Nice utility being dumped onto N9's position, and now they have full control of mid. It's just a matter of where they want to take this one at this point. Elegant has been pretty confident in this position over towards the B bomb site, but there's a lot on the line here. Every player needing to hit their shots and hold off the execution here for SV to keep the dream alive and take us into an overtime situation. But Black Dragons so hesitant in these late portions of the half rounds that they haven't had any sort of success in taking early control of these bomb sites. Right now, though, we do see SV already gambling on the B stack. Elegant takes down one, but it's immediately traded. Notson trying to push his team in for victory here. Dabaq stuck behind the stacks. It's not going to happen. Could they do it here? 4-on-2, making a 4-on-1. Anka alone to keep the dream alive. History in the making here as Anka has to win this one in a 1v4. Otherwise, SV, they're going to be down and out. Danimal spots him behind the double doors, but it's all on Anka. 1v4, looking for nothing short of a miracle, or it's all over. They do it. History has been made. The Black Dragons, the first team to cancel a Chinese grand final here. It's not going to happen, but Black Dragons come out on top. It's a 2-1 victory, and just like that, they're our first team into the grand finals. What a match, and now all 3 Chinese teams, they are out.
A fight that had to go all the way to the third map and nearly into overtime on that third map as well, but at the end of the day, Black Dragons will set up a new Brazilian dynasty and close out the Chinese one for Super Valiant Gaming. The three-peat in the grand finals won't be happening this year, and they'll have to reset once again. Beautiful work by the Black Dragons, and as you mentioned, they will be our first grand finalist here at CFS 2018.
And you can see the raw emotion there. Black Dragons doing the unthinkable and somehow creating a world where a Chinese team cannot win CFS 2018. It's going to be the first time in history. You can see SV shaking their hands proudly, wishing them luck in the grand finals. SV not going to be sore losers in this one. They know Black Dragons fought hard to the bitter end and earned themselves as our first team here into the grand finals. But it's not over for them just yet. They'll have one more team to face to make their ultimate dream of being CFS 2018 champions a reality here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, are we living in an alternate reality right now? The first time ever, no Chinese teams in the grand final, and potentially an all-Brazilian final coming up tomorrow. What a world that would be to see INTZ up against Black Dragons. But as you said, Kyle, we're going to have to wait for the next one to see who comes through. Rue Legends up against INTZ is going to be our second semi-final. And well, if it is anything like that one, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can take it, to be perfectly honest.
Yes, so much has gone unexpected this year, and I think we're going to see continued forward, even more surprises for us, and potentially an all-Brazilian grand final, which is completely unheard of when you looked at all the teams that came to play in this event. Still, Rue Legends a chance to cancel that and put themselves in their first grand finals ever as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much at stake here, and I can hear in the background Black Dragons
right out in the hall there,
walking out down the hallway, cheering still. So very excited, and as they should be. What an epic achievement for the team from Brazil to make it into Sunday's grand finals. At the moment, they've already secured themselves 200,000 USD, life-changing money, but that $500,000 is still on the line. They played so very well as well, Blue, taking down the best. We said Super Valiant Gaming, for whatever reason, seemed to come back just in the nick of time, but Black Dragons were not going to let that happen.
Yeah, for Super Valiant Gaming, we were seeing quite a few of the players that they had relied on in the first 2 maps fall short in that third map. The biggest one being N9, who I think at the end of the first half only had 1 or 2 kills at most. Just not a very impactful game for him at all. Meanwhile, this guy, Notson, constantly showing up on entry. And if we go back to the previous maps, his clutch capability as well was certainly something to be desired, as we saw amazing impact from him across the entire series.
Yeah, incredible play from any number of the players here on the Black Dragon squad. And for me, the hype of coming through from this, that's going to bode very well for them. And they played exceptionally all tournament long as well. We really could not have asked anything more from them than what we've seen, I think, Kyle.
Yeah, and right now it's really ushered in the new era of what could be dominance from the Brazilian CROSSFIRE scene. I mean, potentially we could have the top 2 teams, but we already have 2 of the top 4 secured as Brazilian teams, and really ushering in what is an unheard of thing for CROSSFIRE here.
And I guess the other thing to talk about is that now there are no number 1 seeds remaining. That's it. All of the teams who came top seed in their group have been eliminated, and it's the second seeds who remain.
It's certainly a very surprising affair, and it only goes back to what we were talking about back on even day 1, where this tournament has been nothing short of upsets. We've seen them time and time again, and we've just seen another one leading to our 2-time champion getting knocked out as well.
Yeah, it's been an incredible week at CFS 2018 so far, and there's still so much more coming up. I honestly, have you got any sort of hints for us coming into the next game? After seeing that, the whole world's been turned upside down for me, Kyle. I don't even know who's going to win now.
It's tough because when you look at a team like Rue Legends, they've had a lot of fluctuation in their performance, and now with Black Dragons making it in the grand finals, INTZ surely wants that home showdown finals to happen, and what a finals it would be for them. But still, Rue Legends, a very tough team in their way. I mean, they took down AG, a team we didn't even expect to lose up till this point.
INTZ should already feel very happy with what they've achieved, Blue, but as Kyle said, it's kind of like there's this extra pressure on them now, knowing that Black Dragons have locked themselves a spot in the finals.
Absolutely, and it's a final that I think they believe they can probably win. They definitely are going to have a lot of experience going up against Black Dragons in their own region, of course. So they know we played these guys plenty of times. We're sure we can take that out at the very minimum. We know a lot about their play style.
Yeah.
So now let's get through RU Legends. Let's make our way into the grand finals. And let's take the lion's share of that prize pool. That's got to be their thoughts going into that next matchup.
What an incredible result that would be to see the two Brazilian teams go head-to-head, to have essentially that local derby, but here in China, here at CFS 2018, trying to stop them, of course, will be Rue Legends, a team who, to be fair, has had a very good run so far as well this week. Obviously, that's why they're in the semifinals, and they're just one best of three from making it away as well.
Yeah, and I think that could be what plays to their benefit.
Kyle, let's... no, sorry, keep going.
And looking at Rue Legends, I think, looking at the best of three, I think that format could benefit them, but we'll see.
All right. Yeah, let's throw it across the mat on the stage.
Of CFS 18. This is huge news, not only for your region, but you've knocked out the last remaining Chinese team in the tournament and two-time world champions. You guys are always full of energy, you're always full of fight, and you could see the emotion during the whole game. Right now, super happy Will, right?
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm very happy. I'm nervous, and this is a dream. Everybody training a lot for this. We want to win this.
You're always confident. Brazilian teams on any esport, wherever I go, I always see Brazilian teams ready to fight, believing in themselves, the huddle beforehand, all of that. Did you actually truly think you'd make the final?
I think the Brazilians like the fire.
Yeah.
We like this. We like the emotion.
Yeah.
I think this is good for Brazilian teams.
Yeah, and it works for you as well. But to get all the way to that World Championship, to maybe lift the trophy at the end, you're going to be in that contest on Sunday. Did you come here to China thinking, I believe we can win the whole thing? Did you really believe that before you came?
I believe I can win this.
You got your chance to do it. During the game, all that emotion, a lot of standing up, Brazil #1, China #2, and all of that. Like, there's a lot of respect for you, nevertheless, right? For Super Valiant, you do respect that team.
Everybody respect the other teams, but this is only in the game. Only in the game. Because SV is a great team in CROSSFIRE. It's a legend in CROSSFIRE. They win everything. And I think they are monsters. But in this game, we are monsters.
Yeah. Now, in this game, first map went all the way to golden round. We don't see that very often, so it was very close. Second map went against you, and that was the one we thought was maybe your favored one. So, during this match, did you worry when we got to map 3 that you weren't going to get it after all? And you'd come that close, but it was going to be SV instead. Did you worry?
In the second map, we don't have penetration in some rounds, and I think this is very difficult because if you're wrong, they will win.
Right.
And I don't know. I think we do what are training, and we finish the maps.
Yeah, won it in the end. Is there anything you want to say to your Brazilian fans in Portuguese, to anybody who's supporting you?
Yes, I want. E aí, pessoal? Beleza? Eu sei que vocês estão torcendo pela gente. E eu tô vendo tudo, mano. A rapaziada do grupo, todo mundo que tá torcendo pela gente. Mano, muito obrigado. Confia na gente, mano. E outra coisa, um beijo pra minha mãe, pro meu pai. Eu disse que eu ia conseguir e eu tô aqui, tá ligado? E, mano, pra mãe do Dani, pra todos os familiares, muito obrigado. Porque vocês também merecem, vocês nos apoiam muito. De verdade, muito obrigado. E eu quero agradecer a todo mundo que tá torcendo e não deixe de torcer, tá ligado? Valeu, rapaziada.
There it is. Black Dragons into the World Championship final. Congratulations, Will. Muito obrigado, Black Dragons. They get there. Who are they going to face? We're going to find out in the next game. It could be an all-Brazilian final because INTZ are going to try and take down RU Legends. One of those will face Black Dragons. Commiserations, we must say, to Super Valiant Gaming. Two-time world champions. Legends that'll never be forgotten, but they are out at the semi-finals.
I will see one more thing.
Yeah.
Go INTZ.
They want the Brazilian final. We could get it. Don't go anywhere, because we're going to find out who's the other semi-finalist making it to the grand final next at CFS 18.